am Tommy.
And I'm Johnny.
And you are on the lifeboat. I'll tell you what, before anybody gets concerned, honest to God, I did go and nap right after that last live. I think Johnny Scoville actually did laundry. But I did.
Real. You've been napping between
I have been napping between most of the shows because during the night, I track a lot of stuff down. It's the easiest time to go because I'm not answering anything. Let's do this real quick because this is awfully kind. Leslie, thank you so much. I truthfully and honestly appreciate that. And it does help. So we've got
your language.
Hey, let's, you know what? We're really early on. Don't say anything stupid. Do me a favor, everybody, and smack that like button. It really does make a difference. Aspire to inspire. What's happening? Main Club, good to see you. Deborah, glad you're here. Lisa Palmer, what's happening? Naps are great. Taylor Miller, they really are. Make no mistake. There's nothing wrong with a good siesta. Audra in Denver, how have you been?
Luxurious.
Luxurious?
Yeah.
Barbara Waite, good to see you. Kathy, Clarinet is here. If you guys hear any thumping sounds, the cats have been sleeping all damn day, so they are wide awake and being absolute jackwagons. Yep, there you go. I called it. Robin W., glad that you are here. Hey, Brock Bandy. Brock Bandy is a super mod. All of my mods are great, but Brock Bandy's been sending me good stuff all day long. He's doing research. He's gotten addicted. Lisa White, how are you? Krista Melinda, thank you for being here. DS, Kitty, Diane, David Booley, JC. All right, we'll get this thing underway. So where are we right now, people? Here's what we're looking at. And sad but true, right? Here's what we're looking at. Thank you again, Leslie. It makes a huge difference. It really does. So they still have not paid anything. That wallet still shows absolutely no activity. Logically, could they have had a different wallet? They could have, right? But that hasn't been reported. So this is all we can go on. Well, thank you to you too. I appreciate that. We got to thank you. Big Chill, one of the best soundtracks of all time. Confident Joy, good to see you. Really a good soundtrack, isn't it? I don't remember the movie. But boy, oh boy, I remember
it's one of the early ones I ever saw.
Is that true?
I saw with Sister Scoville.
Well, see, I was considerably younger then. Did you see the court document I emailed you? Yes, I did, Confident Joy. Thank you. That actually made it through.
Hey,
I'll be honest,
like, please.
Yeah, I'll be honest, people. I do not look at any of my emails, but I have somebody that has been going through them. Debbie Patterson. You love the T-shirt? What doesn't kill you texts you 6 months later. It's actually a very funny story behind that. And the people that have been around here a long time know it. My wife is absolutely incredible. But we've had our moments, and she did text me 6 months later. Right?
So it's not just a clever shirt.
It's not just
There's truth behind it.
There is truth behind it. It's not just a clever shirt. So here's the deal. Let's go over some stuff that has actually panned out to be real. And Johnny Scoville has got he hit me with a theory earlier today that actually had me like back on my feet, on my the balls of my feet for a second. Funny to think Kevin Costner ended up on the cutting room floor for The Big Chill. Is that true?
No
hey,
way.
Vancouver, BC. Glad that you're here.
Kevin Costner?
He was 7.
He must have been very young.
I don't know. I can't back that up. Am I the only one who thinks there wasn't a kidnapping? Good God, no, Lisa. I think everybody thinks there wasn't a kidnapping at this point. And look, they've not released the information about the watch. If it was in the microwave, or if it was somewhere really odd, but maybe that wasn't such a big deal. Maybe they glanced through the window. Who knows? Best discussion show. I found you guys last night. Ace, I am glad that you found us. We have a good time.
We do have fun.
We have fun. A lot of people are really shitting on me because they're saying, look, now it doesn't look like the Neckbeard is in on this. One of the guys that is in Neckbeard's band, and look, if you're upset that I'm calling him Neckbeard, I'm sure you're going to get over it before the show is over. There you go. Let's get demonetized real quick. I'm sorry. I don't know how that happened. You'll get more upset at me about something else. So if you just hang out, it's not that big a deal. But let me read you something really quickly because I do think that this is relevant. Dominic Evans, right? Dominic Aaron Lee Evans is a bandmate and a close friend of Tomas Cicione. He's had some public scrutiny of late. Do you know why, Johnny Scoville?
His Neckbeard?
No, he's got a bad criminal record. And so do I, so I'm not judging the fool by that. But he's got burglary. He's got embezzlement.
He's burgled.
He has burgled. He has gone into people's homes before, right? So it just kind of looks bad. Bayou Babe says, I'm side-eyeing him. I think a lot of people are, and I'm sure it's ruining his life. If this guy had nothing to do with this, then that sucks. But you know what? We commit crimes, and you have to put up with a lot of shit. Never going to not have people that hate me for the things that I've done in the past. It is what it is, man. I spent most of my life as a criminal. I'm not that guy anymore, but I do bring the criminal element to true crime. Let's be honest. It is kind of why you watch, right? When was the last time Nancy was seen? In the Uber? No, the Uber brought her to her daughter's house. Allegedly, then Neckbeard brought her home. If you're wondering why I call him Neckbeard, I'm going to have to do this real quickly. Don't judge me. Go ahead and judge me. But that's Neckbeard. I mean, come on, let's be really honest. The guy's got a stellar beard. He may not be a good dude. We'll find out, but he's got a really, really good beard. Let's keep that real.
It's grown a quarter inch since yesterday.
It's if you were there, you could listen to it grow. Did you look into why Nancy has mortgaged her home over 4 times using all of her equity, over $1 million? Was Andy the one getting the equity? We don't know the answer to that. But to be really honest with you, there are a whole host of reasons that people do this. Especially people that are well off. And I'll give you a prime example, because if you're like me and you're just sort of trying to make rent, or a mortgage or whatever, this is one of those situations that let's say you can get a mortgage at 3%, right? And you're consistently getting 18% on your investments with, say, Fidelity Investments. Then to pull $1 million out of your property that you're paying 3% on, but you're getting 18, that's a 15% bump in the positive. And rich people do it all of the time, right? They really do. This is not something that is wildly unusual. But it also could be nefarious. Hey, Debbie, loving life. Good to see you. I did research on pacemaker. It can continue to show life even after a person dies.
It'll keep thumping.
Yeah, I did not. That's not the research I got. I talked to a person that has installed several hundred of them, and he said to me that if a person dies, if it's purely a pacemaker, right? But if it's a pacemaker / defibrillator, which is allegedly what she has, once the heart stops, the pacemaker is going to keep hitting it with electricity to try to get the heart going again. That's what it does. That's what the device does. And that will absolutely show up. So, but you want to hear an interesting a little side note? Johnny Scoville says to me today, and I'm always calling him adult. Maybe it's not nice, but John, not when you're around.
I'm around.
Well, now you are.
You just called me adult.
No, I said sometimes I call you adult. But anyway, he says to me, what if she was separated from the watch at her daughter's house? We don't know where she separated from the watch, right? We just know that she was separated from the watch and what time. Sony says, I'm still leaning on the professional that did work at the house and then decided to do the dumb and tried to rob Nancy. I don't think that that's going to be the case. But it is absolutely a theory, and I can understand it. Have I always picked on my brother growing up? Oh, my God, no. It's the other way around. What is the silver play button? I did deface it. I had a lifeboat sticker over it, but Johnny removed it. Who's older? Good God. Does someone have a wrench? Can we block her?
Taylor, it's a great question.
Johnny's
a lot of
way
people
older.
are wondering.
Johnny's way older. It's not even close, man. It's not even close. You can't tell the difference. Look at this. You see this? I have blonde. He has a complete
This
white.
is blonde.
No, it's not. It's white.
Yours is blonde.
It's gray. I have some. It's like a salt and pepper thing going on. Unpredictable Tony says, click that like button and please make sure you do. It helps. Exactly. He's right. The watch could have been planted on the bed. Joseph, so this is what Johnny says to me, and it had me going in circles, man. It's not a good thing because it's really hard to sleep if somebody drops something like this on you. But he said, what if she was at the daughter's house still at like 2:00 in the morning? What if she was still over there? And all they did was remove the watch, bring it back over to her house, break in there, do all of that. The blood on the porch could have been planted. If they separate her from the watch, we don't know where it happened. We assume it happened at the house. Now, I would imagine they might be able to figure that out because the watch would have been hooked up to Wi-Fi, right? But let's think about this logically. And this is what Johnny said to me. Hey, they were in there looking like they were looking for blood and evidence at the daughter's house. Why? Right? And you got to get a search warrant. Maybe they know that watch was on Wi-Fi at Annie's house, not Mom's. But who knows, man? 491 in the room. That's good. You know what? I appreciate that. It is good. Hey, Joe Mama, what's happening? Hey, it's Monk. Monk. I don't think they would plant the blood. Well, here's the thing. Hey, Todd, good to have you. So many people are kidnapped every day. Why is this case being so promoted? Yeah, it's a famous daughter. On top of that, there are a lot of kidnappings every day, right? There's so many, but they're not kidnapping for ransom. This is a very, very rare thing, to be honest. Most kidnappings are divorced people and they share custody and someone grabs the kid and hauls ass, right? That's what most kidnappings in the United States are. There are also kidnappings of people prostitutes that go missing. Very often they're murdered. There are people who are on the fringe of society. They become targets for serial killers and sickos. But this is rare, right? Kidnapping for ransom is a very rare crime for good freaking reason.
At least in America.
Yeah, in America, that's what I'm saying. In America, it is. In Mexico, in South America, in places like where we live, although Ecuador is not really bad for that, but there are a lot of countries down here that are.
Do you attribute technology, like a lack of it there? Not quite.
Yeah, I think I also think that the police in South American countries and in Latin American countries, they're not paid enough money. It becomes very easy to bribe cops that make $400 a month. Tommy survived in prison because of all the ass whooping he got from Johnny growing up. Yeah, you know something?
You know, we've only gotten into, 3 fights ever?
Yeah, 3. We did a lot of damage in all 3 of them, though.
Well, how about it?
James Kelly, 61, disappeared around 11 p.m. last night from Tucson. Really?
We broke a door in a wall.
I'm going to have to look into this. I did not know that. Now, we don't know anything about James Kelly, correct? I mean, we don't. At least I don't yet. A lot of people wander off. A lot of people decide to take off. I think the sheriff is iffy. Joe Mama, that is the kindest thing anyone has said about the sheriff in a long time. I'm watching someone else's show today. Guy's got a very big show. He's been on a lot of other people's platforms. He calls the guy Barney Fife. Now, I'm not saying he stole it from me. A lot of people could have just said, this guy reminds me of Barney Fife. But I thought to myself, you're a scumbag. There was no kidnapping. It's a cover-up for the murder. Okay, you got to help me through this.
Drops Frank tomorrow, let me know.
Yeah, then he'll be in. I will go to his house. Renee Kennedy, you got to help me with this. I'm not upset with you, but you got to make me understand this. How does kidnapping cover up the murder, right? If she was at her own house, and I still, after going through it, believe she was at her own house. So when they separated from the pacemaker, right? When the pacemaker separated from the watch, she was still alive, right? So they did kidnap her. Now, maybe they were kidnapping her to take her somewhere and murder, but how the hell does the kidnapping angle help at all? Bad Bunny vanished from millions of TVs yesterday, replaced by Kid Rock.
What if the last second they think, if we take her, maybe we can score some more money?
And then she accidentally dies or whatever. I mean, I can see that, but I can't see the kidnapping being something to cover up the murder. To me, that doesn't make sense. The hoax ransom was sent to Tommaso and Annie because they were easy to find online, right? They were, you can research, if you pay, you can get anyone's phone number, and they were able to get that. The whole case is just off. Joe Mama, you're right. Renee Kennedy, somebody make me understand this because so many people say it. How does that kidnapping help cover up a murder? If you're trying to cover up a murder, I'm not trying to be a dick. Don't get mad at me. I had to remove comments of people that say I got no heart and all that stuff. I have a heart. It's dark. It's black around the edges and whatnot.
A little crispy.
It's a little crispy, but I do have a heart. But here's the thing. If you're looking at this from a criminal side, it would not be a very difficult thing, right? It would not be a very difficult thing to make a 84-year-old woman look like she fell down and died. It just wouldn't. I mean, if you hit her really hard in the head, I'm sorry, but if you hit her really hard in the head, it's over. And then all you got to do is put her in the bathroom, let the shower run. You could even put her in the shower, and now all of your evidence is going down the drain. You could leave her there until someone finds her. I'm not trying to be a dick. It just makes way more sense.
And it looks wicked plausible.
I'd just like to know who called and tell them. Okay, so they're talking about this, Sissy. Allegedly, but why with the red herring, Renee Kennedy? Explain to me how that red herring helps them, because if anything else, it hurt them. Right. It has a billion eyes now staring at this case, and they had to know that, especially if they're going to send the letter to Harvey Levin, for the love of God. So here's the deal. Allegedly, she was going to church virtually, but she had agreed to go to church virtually with a bunch of friends. Apparently, they all meet up in some kind of a chat, and then they go over there together. So when she didn't show up for the morning chat, somebody phoned. I don't know if that's the truth, but that's the story that's coming out now, sissy. $5 million reward for bringing my mother home. No questions asked. Presidential pardon. Interesting. No kidnapper takes this much time. You're damn right. Kidnappers leave a note behind that says, don't call the cops. They don't send something off to the news stations. This was not family. The outcome, I believe, is going to be more shocking. Interesting. I have some issues with that as a theory, and I could be wrong, man. It happened once before. Do you remember the year?
No.
It was 1987, and I'll never forget it. It was embarrassing as hell. No, I'm wrong all the time, but I do believe this. If it went down the way that they said it did, and we know that somebody kidnapped this woman at least long enough to take her out and kill her. They didn't accidentally kill her in the house, because when she left that house, her heart was still beating. If we believe that there was no blood planted, and I tend to believe that the blood was not planted. So I think that she was in her house. I think that somebody came to that house and they left with her. I do believe that, right? So if that's the case, I don't see how the cover-up makes any sense. It's not helping, it's hurting. It's a red herring that doesn't help. It guarantees the FBI, right? It guarantees the FBI. Allegedly, the FBI / sheriff went into Annie's house the last time and downloaded a phone and computer information. They certainly had the right people there to do that. Whether or not they did, they had the team there. The FBI's new statement mentioned they are bringing more resources and will be following new leads. Does that mean they don't have any? They're not going to let us know if they do. The Brian Koberger affair told us that, right? The day of that, they said they had no leads, and then they arrested him later in the day.
I think a lot of people watch the reports and think they're telling us everything.
Yeah, they're not. They're not even telling us.
Half the stuff they tell
is bullshit.
Misdirection.
Yeah. So how did the kidnappers contact the family without being caught? Also, do you know it's going to be the real kidnappers making the demands? Yeah, Lawn Dog, the way that it's normally done in the playbook is the kidnapper leaves a ransom note and says, you better call this number before you call the cops or your relative is dead. You don't want the cops being called. If you wait 50 hours, trust and freaking believe they're calling the cops. This is literally the dumbest thing that they could ever do, right? It's absolutely horrible. The family says the church called them, but the church says they didn't. Again, it wasn't the church. Allegedly, it was somebody that she was supposed to be meeting for the virtual meetup. Like, hey, we'll all get together and we'll just go over there and watch it together, and we can leave little comments to each other, blah, 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 like a Zoom style or something. That's what they're saying now. However, I don't believe anything they're saying, right? And I don't disrespect them for lying to us. You understand that they have to, right? They have to.
Yep. Especially in a kidnapping.
Especially in a kidnapping. And if there's even a 1% chance, that she is still alive, correct, in the days of payphones maybe. But you know what? You could say you're going to call this number, do a burner phone kind of a thing, use it once like Better Call Saul, snap that thing in half and throw it away. You know, there are ways to get the communication. You want to hear a perfect way to not get traced? You get an email address. This is what gangsters do. No shit. I'll give you a little inside info. What you do is you get an email address, TommyScoville@gmail.com, and I give you the password to my email address. So you log on and go into my email, and I leave a draft. And you go in, delete my draft, and leave a draft. Now I go read your draft. We're never putting it onto the web. It's never getting out there and shooting back and forth between people. If there was blood on the porch, where was the rest of the trail to get her off of the property? Wrapped up in a blanket and whisked away? Stuck in a trunk right outside her front door? Right? For real. I mean, there's a lot of ways that could happen.
773 people watching and 171 likes. We can do better than that.
I'll be honest with you. Nobody in their right mind would do this. Nobody in their right mind would do this. I think the kidnappers may have nabbed the wrong person.
Interesting.
I'll tell you what. In the playbook of kidnapping, your job is to make sure the person you kidnap stays safe, right? You make sure they stay safe. You don't beat on them. The fact that she started bleeding in the beginning, that's almost unavoidable because of how old she was. But it's not a good start, right? Why do you think Savannah thinks her mom is still alive? Hope, or have they learned more? It's a great question. They may have learned more. That may just be hope. Are you the hot pepper guy? If so, you're my dad's hero. No, he's the hot pepper guy. FBI statement was intentional to make ransom note people feel insignificant, hoping they make a mistake, even if it's a kidnapping. Maybe, but this is dumb as hell. If these supposed kidnappers weren't stupid, it would make sense. Yeah, I mean, waiting 50 hours, that's the one thing that I can't get past.
Right.
Do you understand? I can't get past that.
Within an hour.
Yeah, you leave a ransom note. I'm sorry. I know that you can get DNA off it and blah, blah, blah. But if you don't leave a ransom note, then the person is going to absolutely call, right? My Johnny Scoville is the hot pepper guy. No question, Joe Mama. He definitely is. It's so sad that the public can figure out this problem. Annie and her husband are involved in this. Oh, my God. Get this over with. If the son-in-law does not want to take the poly, he is guilty.
That's a bad look. Bad look.
It's a bad look, man. It's an absolutely bad look.
I would have put a tack in my shoe and gone there and taken it anyway, even if you did it.
Yeah, eat some Valium, put a tack in your shoe. Accident happened, drove around like Stephen Stearns with a dead body looking to drop her. The 3-day delay in ransom was a random act by idiots not involved. That very well could be, man. And you know something? Think about this for a second. Damn, Timothy Glass, you got me thinking.
Right.
You got me thinking. So we got 30 hours of dead time, right? But the ransom note doesn't come up for 50. At 30 hours, they release the house. Brian Enton can walk up to the front door. What would have stopped somebody else from walking up to the front door? Seeing that the stuff was broken off of the side of the building, he literally walked up to the blood stain. What would have stopped somebody else from doing the exact same thing, right? And they could have taken the info that they gleaned from that crime scene to make it look like they were there that night. Is that making sense? The son-in-law shaved off that massive beard. He did? Kimberly Hallman, now I don't know whether or not to hate him.
Does he have a teeny little chin?
He must. How do you think they're going to get payment? And it being impossible to trace. It's not impossible to trace. It is not impossible to trace. In fact, it's wildly easy to trace. That's how I know that the money isn't there. They're watching that wallet right now to see if money gets put in it. The reason that people think it's untraceable is because there is just a number on that, right? But think about a numbered bank account in Switzerland. If you could stare at that numbered account, you would wait for an asshole to come in and remove money and you'd arrest them. The very same thing does happen on the blockchain. And I want to tell you something. This is a true story. I researched it. How about $27 trillion? I kid you not. Has been, billion dollars, $27 billion with a B, has been recovered by people off of the blockchain from people that do ransomware. Big companies will get hit by hackers that say, we want 10 million in Bitcoin or we keep your company shut down. And these hackers get paid. 27 billion of it has been recovered. So it's not as untraceable as you think. I heard it's definitely traceable. It is. You know who else you can ask? Go ahead. Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried got popped. They could have multiple wallets, and the family might have made. Yeah, there could be multiple wallets. However, why tell the world about the one wallet and not tell them about the other? You understand what I'm saying? An old interview with Trump, and she desperately wanted him to dispel theories of satanic child pedo crap. She was not letting the subject go. Conspiracy? Well, there's a lot of conspiracies out. But I want to tell you something, people. Occam's razor. I'm telling you right now what you're going to end up with. Lawn Dog, that's a very nice thing to say. I appreciate that. Occam's razor is always going to work out in these kind of things. The most logical explanation almost always turns out to be the one.
That's why I never think like cartels or the roofers.
Yeah.
Right? You know,
I mean,
that doesn't make sense.
Here's the thing. How many roofers out there are going, hey, let's get into the kidnapping business?
Right.
Even criminals I know wouldn't get into the kidnapping business. It's a stupid way to make a living in the United States. Outside the United States, there are a lot of people getting rich off it, but they're asking for $29,000 on average. People are paying them on credit cards, and they're holding the people less than a day. The cops aren't getting involved, right? But wait, after your last live, someone pointed out that there may be another Bitcoin wallet. No, but how do we? So if there's another Bitcoin wallet, did they tell the family about it? Because they're not communicating with the family. Even the new letters that came out allegedly just say, where's the money? They're not, they said in the very first communication, this is why it smells so bad.
Right.
In the very first communication, they said, this is the only time you're going to hear from us. You can't get a hold of me. I'm not going to be able to get a hold of you. That's not how kidnappings go down.
Right. You need payment insurance.
Correct.
Which is communication.
Communication.
Proof of life.
Proof of life. Could the ICAC team been there hoping to find something as a reason to hold on to the tomato? They're the best in the business at looking through phones, looking through computers, and they should be because, let's be honest, we want our kids. Savannah should make a public spectacle of herself volunteering for a lie detector test. It'll throw any guilt off of the family. Yeah, that's actually very interesting. That's actually very, very interesting. It would be great if she did. If she came out and said, I have volunteered to take a polygraph. It's a cover-up. Make me understand the cover-up. You can't just say it's a cover-up. I'm not letting that happen anymore. It's a cover-up for what? Savannah interviewed the Epstein victims. File comes out and her mom, poof. Yeah, that's a stretch. I'm sorry, it really is. How does this stop that from going away? How does it stop that from going away? It's not going to shut down the Epstein. When I'm not doing this, I'm researching Epstein. Because when this is over, I'm right back on it. And so is every other YouTuber. Now, Johnny Scoville made another interesting point earlier. And he said that the big media isn't who's hurting them on the Epstein thing. It's small channels like myself. And
we'll add up all the channels and compare that to the mainstream media. They're getting crushed.
Right. I heard Savannah's billionaire hubby was involved with or knew Epstein. Yeah, hearing that, I'm sorry, but you know something? This is my life, right? People go, hey, I heard that you will say this. I promise you're going to hear people say this. And do you know that Savannah is in the Epstein files? Because somebody said in an email, could we reach out to somebody like Savannah Guthrie? That doesn't mean she was on a molesting island, right? But people hear this much of a thumbnail and they go, she was in there, right? And then they put together that she interviewed somebody and the hubby was involved with or knew Epstein. I'll bet you my life that her husband knew Epstein. I'm sorry, I'll bet you my life. Because before this guy got busted for being of Chomo, he was at every function in the world. He donated shitloads of money to politicians on both sides of the aisle, and he was hanging out with Bill Clinton. I would say there's a really good chance that that the husband met Epstein, but that doesn't mean he's going to kidnap his mother-in-law, right? It doesn't make any sense. You've got a really nice job. Right? You have a great job. You're working for the Democratic Party. You're making a shitload of money. You're going around to all the cool parties, right? You know everyone. Why in God's name would you get into this? It doesn't make any sense, people, right? Just as a criminal, it doesn't make any sense. I've never met straight people who break bad. You know that's what that meant in that, right? At the age of 55, he broke bad. People don't break bad. They don't. People get addicted to drugs and then start committing crime. But you don't meet people who are in their 50s who go, I'm going to become a kidnapper.
Right.
I'm going to become a kidnapper. You know why? Because all this shit I'm doing in politics just ain't paying the bills. People, that doesn't make sense. And somebody make me understand what this covers up. It doesn't cover up anything. It creates a billion more eyes on you. When she left the house, she was alive. So if they're covering up a murder, this is the worst way in history. And the mom executed for the Lindbergh baby did it. Because he was a kidnapper. Yeah, you know something? The neckbeard is the one.
Hey,
yeah, artist and broke.
Here. Do me a solid and subscribe if you haven't, and like this stream, please.
Stella! It's a good reference. There's a picture of him with Epstein. Again, do you think that means he did it? Honest to God. Do you know how many people have pictures with Epstein? If your picture was taken with Epstein before he got busted in Florida, I'm not all that pissed off at you. I'm not.
It's after.
But if you were hanging out with him after that, then you're a stone cold scumbag. Bill Gates.
Elon Musk.
Who is dumb enough to own that wallet? Leslie, ain't that a question?
Right.
What do we think happened to the mom? I think, here's my theory, and I'm sticking with it. I think that they went in there. This was legitimately a kidnapping. Hey, Nikki, be really careful. I don't do politics here, man. For real. Half of the people in here like one guy. Half of the people in here hate him. If you start going in one direction or another and you piss off the audience, I'm going to get rid of you. This ain't a political thing. I promise you. Yeah, I promise you. And if you see politics under every crime, you need to get your shit together, right? You've become part of the whole tribalism thing. Left, right, blue, red. We're all Americans. This is somebody's mom who disappeared. And there ain't any doubt at all, right? That, in my humble opinion, it doesn't have to do with politics. This is the kind of ransom kidnapping isn't normally done in the United States. I've always thought this sounds more like Mexican cartel kind of people. Your thoughts? The Mexican cartel is making billions with a B. A $4 million, which was the original request, a $4 million ransom to come across the border and risk going to ADX Florence, where you're not going to escape. You're not going to be able to pay off any of the officials. They don't shit where they eat, right? They make their money in the United States of America by pumping drugs in here, and they're making billions. They smuggle people across the border, and they're making billions. They're not going to risk that to come across the border and kidnap someone for a lousy $4 million. $4 million sounds like a shitload of money to us. To the cartels, it's chunk change. So the dude who got arrested by calling Annie and Tommaso also has call history with both of them. I cannot verify that. A bunch of people have said that. I can't verify it. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I can't verify that. I can't chase down, like what I do most of the time is chase down where these rumors come from. And if I can say this is the first person that said it, I'll talk about it. Or I'll say, I'm not going to be able to out that person, but I happen to believe that that this person is legit. But I can't track that down. Do you really think that it was Nancy that opened the garage door in a 2-minute point? I don't think so. Knight Rider, who do you think did it? Because somebody entered that house, right? And allegedly, then 4 hours later, she's removed from that house. It's her blood on the front steps. So you think that they took her from the daughter's house? Explain to me a little bit more, Knight Rider. I'm not mad at you, but explain to me more of what you think happened then. I'm sorry, Tommy. I'm so tired of hearing the Epstein files. Lord, they need to move on with that. Here's the deal. I'm going to show you some shit from those Epstein files that are going to make you wish that they don't move on. I promise you. But it isn't going to be what you're hoping for. But there are people that need to be held accountable. What's the name of that friggin' guy that used to date Claudia Schiffer, the magician? You know who I'm talking about?
Copperfield.
David Copperfield. I got some pictures of David Copperfield that are going to make you really unhappy. That dude ought to be in prison, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, shady.
Shady, right? And I want all of those rapey, shady bastards to be called out. What do I think of the siblings? I think that Annie creeps me out. I don't have a problem with the brother, but Annie creeps me out.
And we're not twins. Tommy's a little older.
Knock that shit off. Everybody knows that's not true. I thought the mom needed life-threatening meds. How is she still alive? We don't know that she's still alive, right? Finish my theory. Okay, I'm sorry. Here's my theory. They went in there to do a legitimate kidnapping, right? They went in there and grabbed her. In the process of grabbing her, she already started having medical stuff that scared the hell out of them. They brought her out of there, and the reason that it took that long for them to deliver the ransom or anything else is because they were trying to intervene as safely as possible, right? But once she died, the shit hit the fan. However, now you're all in. They want to get paid one way or the other. And they thought maybe they'll pay without proof of life. They're not going to. But I think that she died in their care. I think when she left the house, she was alive. The pacemaker should prove that, right? So, you know what, Knight Rider? If I missed your theory, you got to put it up again. Who do I think is involved? I think Neckbeard is. I love him for this crime. I'm sorry, I love him for this crime. He's the only one who has acted the fool in terms of, like, if I was a lawyer and my client came out right after this happens and starts hiding their ass off, right? They're going like this, trying to look like Justin Bieber. Don't take my picture, right? I'm not with my girl. Don't take my picture. That's not what people normally do. They come out and literally look at the press because the press can help them. You understand? How is there no tire or footprints in the desert? Because they didn't take her out through the desert. They took her out through the front door. They drove out of her driveway, and then they took off. That was the reason they got to get rid of that ring camera on the front. If they were going through the desert, we got no reason to get rid of that ring camera. Any major bodies of water nearby, not very close to nearby.
The meds are for heart disease, not the pacemaker. Blood thinner, you can take away her blood thinner, she's done.
Yeah, without the blood thinner, she's in trouble. The doctor I talked to said for the first 3 days, it would not really be absolutely a massive thing. But after that, it would start getting ugly. But I don't think, look, here's the other thing. I lived in the Catalina foothills. If somebody rode behind my house on any kind of vehicle, I'd call the cops, right? You just can't ride behind someone's house.
Right here. Lucky me says Savannah's guilty. How so?
Yeah, lucky me. Give us your theory, man. No, I mean, yeah.
I'm just curious.
I would definitely like to hear that.
Because I've heard some weird, theories, but I don't think so.
Do we know if no? We're not. There's no way for us to find out if she has a will. It's not one of those things. Aspirin is a blood thinner. Yeah, they're taking something a little heavier than that. Sabino Creek. Yeah, but this time of year, I don't know how much they're going to be getting done on Sabino Creek. Is there a chance we will see Johnny in the future finding some kind of Ecuador nasty? Yeah, Johnny has just brought in how many different strains?
40.
40 different strains of super hots.
And we do have a can of surströmming coming in. I got a surströmming guy.
I'm not eating any more of that fish, bro.
Of course you will.
What's the whole place is a litter box. You'd think there'd be prints in front of the house. Yeah, but you know something? Every person that goes in and out of that house leaves prints, right? And Neckbeard has gone in and out of that house how many times? Seriously, think about it. There's people always going in and out of that. You're looking for prints in strange places. You're sure as shit not looking for prints by the front door. How would there not be prints by the front door, right? I mean, every time you leave, especially by the garage door, there's going to be all kinds of prints. But if you're looking for tire tracks, how many times did a car drive into there, right? How many times? From a different country, I think. Well, maybe. You watched me eat that fish stuff. Gagging is fun to watch. Copper. It's fun when it's someone else.
When I was eating it, you loved it.
Oh, I do enjoy watching you eat the stuff. But that doesn't mean I want to do it. Time for a Sprite banana challenge. Oh, you remember that one? Do you think it's odd that the dude said, did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on the transaction. Yeah, I think it's a little odd. I do. But everything about this is odd, right? And we also don't know how much of this is true. So one of the stations in Arizona printed a shitload of the letter and then immediately backed the hell out. That's how we found out about the $6 million. Nancy took Uber. Hold on one second. Yeah, this is absolutely the truth. And we're on the doctor that I spoke to said for the first 3 days she'd be all right. But by day 8, he said that just does not believe she would be alive. But he stipulated to that to say he's assuming as a doctor that she would not be getting enough water. She would not be getting enough food. She wouldn't be. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm not trying to be argumentative, but it is not. If you understand how the blockchain works, you can see, I can go and look at my transactions from 8 years ago, right? All you got it. There are sites you can go to. The blockchain shows everything. See, Todd says it's easy to track Bitcoin transactions, and it is. It's a misnomer that this is untraceable shit. It is not even close to untraceable. The regular internet is untraceable. That's why it's so easy to steal from, because you don't know if something happened along the way. The blockchain, think of a spray painted black truck going down a freeway, or a truck that you could see inside, right? The blockchain, you can see the transactions in a way that makes it safer.
That was the biggest head scratcher for me. The second I heard Bitcoin as the way they want to get paid, I thought, what?
Taylor Miller has an interesting question. Did you see where Nancy was Googled over 200 times from Colombia 2 weeks before she disappeared? I did not see that. I will tell you this. I don't believe any of that shit. And here's why. I've been doing true crime a hot minute, and we keep hearing this shit on so many cases, right? Like when what's his name got shot? Come on, help me. God help us. The conservative that got shot.
Charlie Kirk.
When Charlie Kirk got shot, Google came out and said, do you have any idea how many people Googled him before he got shot? And then they had to come out and go, oh, no, we blew that. It was actually after he got shot. So I'm not convinced that this stuff happened. I don't believe Google. I'm sorry, I don't. Australia, good to see you. It doesn't mean that it's not true, Taylor. It's just that they've got priors for screwing this up.
Please let us know where you're watching from.
Yeah, that is fun.
I kind of like that.
Heather, good to see you. FBI asked Tommaso to take a polygraph, and he refused. That is the rumor. I don't see her surviving it either, Holly. Insurance policy, she may have had one. But how big an insurance policy is this worth? And why not just kill him? Sunbury, Pennsylvania. Can't trace cash, which is why the government wants to go cashless. It's the truth. I mean, in the old days, we said, We want untraceable bills. They better not be sequential, and they don't want them brand new. They want used bills, right, that aren't sequential and they're not marked. Now we went from that to, hey, I want you to put this into a wallet. You have the number. Everyone's going to watch it. Galveston. Boy, I raised a lot of hell in Galveston. Punta Gorda. Love you guys. Thank you. I did get a ticket for noise pollution.
Driving down Seawall Boulevard, you were setting off car alarms.
I had this stereo you would not believe. I heard it could be repeatedly trickled into multiple accounts that would make it untraceable. If you don't know, right? So here's what happens. You put this into that wallet. The first time they put any money out of that wallet, the feds are going to know. The NSA is going to know. You could trickle small amounts out if the world isn't looking at you. But you got to get $6 million off of that wallet. And there's already literally hundreds of people that know that wallet's address, which means they're going right now and looking at it every couple of minutes. Finger Lakes, New York. I love it. Every couple of minutes.
Harvey Levin has checked it today.
Harvey Levin is checking it every 5 minutes because he has that address. It is not hard to go on the blockchain and see if any money has gone into a wallet if you have the number. How come the 911 call hasn't been released yet? I think it has. That wallet is tainted, Natalie. Damn straight. Hey, Nova Scotia. Who called? I would be very interested to know who called. But why do I have a feeling? Somebody can fact check that. But I have a feeling that they did release that. Yeah, it has. See, Mopman's got it. I'm pretty sure that they did release the 911 call. But the 911 call isn't going to tell us dick. It happened the following day, right? We want to know what happened 12 hours before that, right? The important thing is what happened 12 hours before that. Jamie Cotton says no money is ever going into that wallet. I tend to agree. The India scammers want 6 million. Yeah, you make really weird mistakes if you're foreign. There are things that we say, speech patterns and things like that, and they bring in professionals to look at it, right? To check whether or not they think this was written by an American or not. And according to what they're saying, not only do they think it's an American, they think it's somebody that is from Tucson. There are things like I talked about this the other night. If you're from Houston, Texas, you would say you're on the 610 loop. In a lot of other places around the country, those are called spurs, right? So it's just there are different things that are localized to different places that you live. And they said that there were things that
this is Tommy with a nap.
Damn it, if they would just go to Annie and her ex-husband.
You fall asleep quick in a nap. I mean, just like that.
That's because I had like 3 hours of sleep, man. If they would just go to Annie and her ex-husband and pressure them more and more and more and more, the hell is going on here? God, I think so. Okay, so here's an argument for that, and I'm not saying I'm right, right? I'm not saying I'm right, but here's an argument for that. If there's a chance that she's still alive and they are involved, you really don't want them freaking out, calling or getting a message to whoever they get it to and go and kill her, right? They're going to be doing stuff with kid gloves if there's an outside chance that the person that they're looking at as a suspect can lead them back to a person that's alive. From Romania, argumentative logic, opinions, both together. Silence after the 5 p.m. deadline. From now, anything is on the road. It's not going to be a good thing for the family. They're going to be living in hell. And what's bizarre to me is we all kind of agreed that we saw what looked like them saying, we just want to get the body back, right? Everybody kind of said that. And now she's saying she's out there. She didn't talk in this last one. They put Nancy in the trunk. They might have, Susan. I hate to think about that. I really do, but they may have. I heard an expert say it was out of the U.S. because they specified U.S. dollars, not just dollars. First of all, I don't know that that's the truth, right? They did. And it doesn't matter if you're putting it on Bitcoin anyway. You say $6 million, right? 6 million US dollars, I guess. I mean, that's a possibility, but I haven't seen that anywhere. The only way Nancy is alive is if family did this. Anyone else wouldn't take care of her this long. I'm going to go the other way around on that. If these were real kidnappers that had nothing to do with her, because if it's family that did this, deep down they hate her. I'm sorry.
Her medicine already lined up.
I'm sorry, but that's great, man. Savannah Smollett. Yeah, somebody tell me why you think Savannah's doing this. Because the $8 million a year she's making isn't enough, right? She needs to be more famous. She needs to get rid of her mother for the inheritance, right? Because the 50 million she's got ain't getting it done. Somebody give me any reason that's logical at all, right? Give me some reason why she might do this. Did Nancy have a cell phone? Yes, and it was left at her house. Why is the family not crying? Oh, they have been, lucky me. They've been crying their asses off. Well, go watch any of the videos done by Savannah Guthrie. She's dying.
Like she's aged a decade.
She has aged a decade. It's so sad to look at. Tommaso hated Nancy because she never liked him. I had heard that the two of them got along. However, biblically speaking, if the mother was really that religious and she thought that the daughter became outside of the Christian faith because of her old man, that could have been hard. Do you think who did this had medical training? Hard to tell. I doubt it. If you have any kind of medical training, even if all you had was like an EMT or an EMT intermediate, you spent time going and getting a skill that you can make money with. Why the hell are you going to become a kidnapper? For God's sakes, man, if any of you decide you want to kidnap somebody, do me a favor. Reach out to me and I'll hip you up on some bank robbery stuff because you're going to get caught either way. But at least for the bank robbery, you're going to do a lot less time. Johnny, have you ever considered doing longer Chase the Heat episodes and add some of your guitar jamming? Can't be as bad as Kid Rock's performance yesterday.
When I started, now long form is trending. That's what it is. That's where the money is. When I started, it wasn't. So I've made 9,000 10-minute videos.
Interesting, Renee. So it's Annie, the low-performing child, still living 10 minutes from mom in a house her sister probably paid for. Okay. Now I like where you're going, Renee. Now do me a favor and tell me how the fake ransom covers up any crime. I can't figure out a crime that could be covered up by a fake ransom because everybody keeps saying it's a red herring to cover up the crime. How the hell does this protect anyone from a crime? If a stranger just stumbled upon her home and broke in there, there would be DNA, period. If somebody just stumbled upon her home, broke in there, they're not getting her out of there onto a road without being seen. Somebody had to have thought this out big time. There are license plate readers everywhere. They would have had to cover a license plate, right? And they planned to have cameras taken out. They planned to remove that front doorbell thing. All of this was done. I think it's really Savannah. They wanted... I see what you're saying. I think it's Savannah they really wanted, but they took a loved one that's going to hurt the most. Mother as I mean, I'm not trying to sound cold-hearted, right? But she's had a very long life. She's 84. If you want to hurt a family, I don't think you grab someone who's closest to death. Am I way off on this?
No, man.
I mean, think of how many times you go, oh, God, she had her whole life in front of her. People at 85 don't die, and you go, wow, she had her whole life in front of her. Right? Her whole life is behind her. Best case scenario, right? She's already got a pacemaker. She's having real mobility issues. She takes a shitload of medication. So what do we think she's got left? Best case scenario, right? A decade? And that's probably stretching it a bit.
Right.
My mother's...
all the health issues she's got?
Yeah.
Not to sound like a cold-hearted person. She ain't.
Well, you are a cold-hearted prick, though.
She's not making a decade.
My mother is about 85, and she was diagnosed with a type of blood cancer, and she's doing fantastic about it. Right? She's really doing fantastic. But when the doctor said people that get this kind of blood, cancer don't usually make it past 5 to 6 years, and my mother was like, "Oh man, I'll take that. 5 to 6 years." She's like, "Yeah, I'll take that."
I smoke a lot.
Is it possible, no matter how unlikely, that Nancy planned this to get away from the greed and just took money? No, wow. Absolutely not. It doesn't match with who everyone on earth says this woman is. And she loves her home, right? She wasn't willing to move out of it as a woman that old. I just ordered 5 bottles of Satan's blood 2 days ago. Enjoy. This is very sad as well. If you're very religious, you do the right thing, and that's not a good thing. I have a lot of my family sisters that aren't religious, that are very religious. Me, not so. That's all right, right? We all try to get along, no? How about Tommaso and the Italian Mafia? Any chance? The Italian Mafia was not big on kidnapping. I actually know a lot of people in that line of work. Over the course of my life, I met a lot of people in that line of work, and that's not really their go-to. They have the rackets, right? It's very established stuff. They They do protection where you go and break a window at a business and say, hey, we'll look out for your business. And if they don't pay, you keep breaking windows, that kind of stuff. They also do illegal gambling. They do loan sharking. There's a certain set of rackets that the mob has always been doing. This kind of thing isn't it. She's dead. The ransom is fake because she was murdered. Okay. So the ransom, the only real ransom request went to Annie and Tommaso from someone they knew. That guy would have snitched already. Are you shitting me? He would have already turned him in. 85% of people in the feds cut a deal. Everybody snitches. I don't care what anybody says. Unless you robbed a bank and you did it alone, right? Or the getaway driver was your brother, you're going to snitch.
I've been a getaway driver.
I know. I didn't snitch. How can there be no camera footage from surrounding neighbors? Because, Holly, this is a very strange neighborhood. We all think neighborhood, right? The Catalina foothills is designed so that you never have to look at your neighbor. The houses sit below and above, and you're far enough off the road. Like where we lived, I'm not kidding you. You had to drive more than a football field straight up a driveway that curved twice. And I mean straight the hell up, right? It was hard to walk up. Our moving truck couldn't get up the driveway. It took them like 9 attempts. And that's how all of the Catalina foothills is designed. So that when someone drives by the road, you don't hear them, you don't see them. So they can have cameras on the front door, but it's not going to catch who's going by. We think of it like it was with the guy who I'm always talking about. Names I can't think of right now. The one that killed the four college students.
Kevin.
What?
No.
That was that neighborhood that he was going through. Those cameras literally are pulling every single car that go by. I'd ask to take a polygraph. I would too. Russian red herring, maybe after the fact. I just don't see how this helps cover anything. And I don't believe for Kohberger. Thank you. In the Kohberger case, these Ring doorbells and these cams are on the road, right? They're on the road. This is a very, very strange neighborhood. They don't have lights in the traditional sense of the word, because back in 1972, they passed just Joan. Where did I get these glasses? They were a gift from my wife. She brought them down for us from America. She said that the ones I was wearing, I was squinting far too much. And she used to be in that line of work, so she brought me a stronger prescription. I didn't realize, but the longer you wear them, they don't work anymore. They wear out. Hurt law enforcement was using the bathroom inside the crime scene. Would it surprise you? Holy hell. He really is Barney Fife. He came out and gave way too much information, then had to crab back and change everything. He's also released the crime scene to so many people. Why did I move out of Tucson? Because I'm a content creator. If she was murdered that night by Annie or her husband, they had to stash the body. Most cars have GPS or tracking technology, so the cops would know by now if the car was driving around at 2 a.m. They would, right?
I think when it's all said and done, Occam's razor is going to be, we're going to look back and say, Occam's razor.
Yeah. They would have made sure mom's alive. So if this thing is a cover-up, it's the worst cover-up in history. It's like saying, you know what? Listen, I accidentally killed this dude. I'm going to shoot up a flare to let people know that I didn't do it at this location. I'm going to take a billboard out that says, I whacked this woman as a cover-up. You don't want the whole world looking at you. I mean, do you have any idea the amount of people that are coming into Tucson right now to look at this? Private investigators, cops, I mean, people from other states. Because apparently it doesn't even upload to the cloud unless you pay them. That's what they're telling us. The neckbeard didn't look that smart. I agree with you, it doesn't.
I couldn't find a picture of
She was trafficked to Gilf's Gone Wild.
Wow. Too soon?
Debbie Patterson, if I go missing, you have my permission to write me off as dead as quick as you'd like. But I don't know that the ransom is fake, and I agree with that. It is a fake. I just want somebody to make me understand why the hell you do a fake ransom. Again, if you're not the person that kidnapped her, I can understand this. But somebody kidnapped her. What a coincidence that somebody kidnapped her ass, doesn't want any money. And then somebody pops out and has a bunch of information. Although, to be honest, man, it was after 30 hours, they released that crime scene. I met a lot of stupid criminals. These people were stupid. I have met only a handful of smart ones. Most criminals are as dumb as a brick.
Hey, Avenlore, you don't come in here and be rude to people.
Who did that?
Avenlore is dumping on, what does it say here? Just Joan, this is YouTube. You're not some gatekeeper. Look for a new job.
You know what? Block his ass.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Have a good one. What about the sisters' home cameras? Did they have any? Good question. I don't know the answer to that. Ransom is a cover-up. Who are they covering up, Knight Rider? What does it cover up? What do you cover? Make somebody answer this question. How does the ransom cover up anything? It brings more attention, right? Tons more attention. What is my theory? My theory is it was an attempted kidnapping and they killed her and they can't show proof of life, so they're not going to get paid. That's my theory. And I think that the first 30 hours, they were trying to find a doctor. They were trying to find somebody to work on her because the stress was taking them out, right? The stress was a very serious issue. And we can't, an 84-year-old woman on this many medications and who has a very difficult time walking, this is one of those things. But it doesn't throw off the police. Throw off the police from what? You know what I'm saying? How does that throw off the police? They're still looking for the body. They're still doing all of the shit that the police would do. But if you faked the ransom so that they wouldn't look at you, they're going to find who faked the ransom, right? They got the best people in the world tracking down who sent those messages. So if you go, I accidentally killed him, we don't have a body. So you're now going to go out. There's no body. Now you're going to come up with a ransom to hide the body they can't find. They're going to catch you from the ransom. It doesn't make any sense. It throws them looking at somebody close because the people they're thinking this is a kidnapping for money and not a murder. It's either intentional or unintentional.
Well, you got son-in-law neckbeard not taking, refusing to take a polygraph
and ducking like he's Justin Bieber to get in the car.
That's not. Yeah.
The body is in Sabino Creek or Sabino Canyon, maybe. I mean, it could be.
She's in a trunk somewhere.
When do I think there'll be a crack in this? I would imagine in the next 3 days. My gut says that we're going to see somebody arrested in the next 3 days. And I really hope so, right? They never expected a ransom. I just don't understand how the ransom helps the criminal. So if I accidentally kill somebody, I want it to go the hell away.
Timothy Glass, 2 different crimes, 2 different parties. That's interesting.
Well, that very well could be the case, right? Hey, thank you, Pamela. I really appreciate that. This is, Pamela, thank you again. This is logical to me, right? Because Brian Enton went up to that door at hour 30, somebody could have gone up there, looked through every single freaking window, walked around that entire building, saw where the smartwatch was, honest to God, unless they put it in an evidence bag. Everything else that they said, hey, those things were hanging off the wall. I smashed those. Right. Brian Enton saw that. Right. And that was at hour 30. And we didn't hear from the people until hour 50. I think that that there's a decent chance that the people sending these messages have nothing to do with the crime. I think that's solid. So given your theory, Tommy, on the current situation, why don't they just deliver her to a parking lot somewhere and leave the scene? Not sure how to describe an exit scenario. Because she's dead. Right. At this point, you get rid of the dead body because kidnapping sucks. But murder, can't say that word on YouTube, But murder is even worse, right? Murder is going to get you life in prison or the death sentence because guess what? Lucky says she will be found in Sabino Creek at 9:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. Holy shit, Lucky. Got any picks for next year's football? Maybe they got a fall guy that they promised money to if he wrote the ransom notes to confuse people while the guy who actually did it got away. They got away that night. By 30 hours in, they had already gotten away. So why wait till hour 50 to cover up the crime? They got the hell away with the crime. If all you were trying to do was kill the woman, you got away with it. They had no idea where the body was. They had to bring in the FBI. At hour 30, they said, we're done with the crime scene. They re-released it, right? You looking great. You're looking like you got away. Why in the name of God, at that point, would you say, I think I'm going to do everything I can to get the FBI in here? Maybe she passed the night she was kidnapped and they drove to Phoenix and dumped her in the desert. I think that's as logical
right. Maybe that's one of the reasons it took so long to get out of the house. Hustling with a kid is one thing. Hustling with an 85-year-old woman.
Yeah. Here's the thing. A biologist knows how to dispose of a body, maybe. But the biologist is hanging out with everybody in the world looking at him. Whoever did the kidnapping ain't him, right? He may have been there that night, but then he had to go home and wait for everybody on earth to look at him and all of his bandmates and start saying, you know what, I like him for this crime. Who's ever holding her, if there was ever anyone holding her, that would be the person that would have to get rid of it. Hold on one second. She didn't pass and leak the blood that she did. She was murked. Yeah, so she bled at the house, to be sure, inside and out, right? She bled at the house. However, because of that stupid watch, we know that when she left there, her ticker was still working, right? You love the shirt? I do too. It was a gift from somebody on the boat. I have not heard that he lawyered up. Oh, he's threatening to sue Ashley Banfield. Is it true that Tommaso lawyered up? I heard he threatened to sue Ashley Banfield for saying he was under suspicion for doing something to Nancy. She's not going to get in trouble for that. Sadly, she wouldn't. Her source said that was the number one suspect. She never came out and said he did it, right? What was said was a source close to the investigation said that right now this is the number one suspect. From what we know, they've got nobody to arrest. So if there's a body, why don't they just leave it there and walk away? Thank you, Lawn Dog. Right? I mean, honestly, it sounds like if you accidentally killed her, the best thing you could have done was just shut the F up. They weren't doing a good job. Barney Fife was already screwing up the crime scene, letting tons of people traipse through it. And then at hour 50, my wife's channel is called Relatable Reese. And somebody with a wrench will put up a link to it. But why in the name of God at hour 50 would you go, hey, Miss Weedy Poo? At hour 50, why would you say, let's start trying to cover up the crime that nobody seems to be able to solve? Right. I think it may be two different things. I think these may just be opportunistic pricks, right?
Interesting.
Drive out in the desert and look for buzzards. They're doing that. They're flying with planes to look for buzzards, I promise. That's a very popular thing to do. A break-in consists with a door. Yeah, we don't know. A break-in consists of a door being kicked or glass being broken. We don't know that there is a break-in. To be sure, we don't. You have said we know she was alive when she left the house because of the pacemaker, but we don't know how long it was disconnected before they left the house. Well, if she was in the house, Debbie, she's going to be within distance of that base. I don't think that, at least in the house I was in, right? And I had a pretty big house in Tucson, and it was made of the same material. It's like a concrete bunker. But I could walk around that house with my iPods anywhere and not disconnect. But if I went outside, I had to get about 20 or 30 feet outside my house before it started going in and out.
Couldn't go all the way around the pool.
Could not. I would be looking into electric companies in isolated areas where there is no customer but activity noticed. Interesting. Nancy has dressings on skin tears. Who says the blood at her door or in her home was from Saturday night? They're pretty good at that, Renee Kennedy. The way blood coagulates and the way that the red blood cells and the white blood cells will separate from one another, it happens in a very predictable time. So they're usually pretty good at looking at blood and saying, this blood was there 2 weeks ago. This blood was there from last night. Smoke a lot. I'm with you. It's sad to see, but here's the thing. Could we be dealing with difficult American crackheads? I don't think that the average crackhead is doing this. The average crackhead would have stolen everything in the house.
Right.
Everything in the house.
All the jewelry.
And allegedly nothing was stolen. Don't all cars have GPS tracking? So did Tommaso go straight home after dropping her off? If this was a planned kidnapping, he would not have used his car. I promise you. If they stick her in a box in their backyard, they will never find her. Yeah, but try digging into that crap. You should try doing a little digging in Tucson. God help us, man. Well, my mom had a pacemaker, didn't have a smartphone, but they were able to monitor her heart. Yeah. So is it possible we're dealing with a typical? No, yeah, again. The Lucky Linda Lou says it's BLE low level. Bluetooth longest range on pacemaker is 200 feet max. Well, thank you.
Look at the comment right under that. Mike Jensen. Very interesting.
Do you know exactly what the guy in California said? No, we don't. No, we don't know exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of, I want money sent to. And here's the thing. If all of these people were working with them, like if they knew this guy, why tell the police that he called you? You understand what I'm saying? My understanding isn't that when they reached out for the ransom, they turned that guy over to the cops. Why in hell would they do that if they knew him? No, you're good, Lawn Dog. I think the blood was put there. No trail into the driveway. You know what, Misty Blankenship? It's not as easy to plant evidence as you would think. They're pretty good at collecting the shit. I guess if you had it in a cup, you could have poured it, but how do you get that in a cup? That's kind of a bizarre concept. First timer here, enjoying you guys in the chat. Well, thank you. What a kind thing to do your first time here. And you're from the other side of the pond. It's an honor to have you here, Elaine. Could she have been taken across the border? Yeah, but she absolutely could be taken across the border. But let me say this, as a retired criminal, you're rolling the dice going across an international border. I'll be really honest. Driving into Mexico, you're not going to get hemmed up very often. You're not. But there might be a 1 in 10 chance that they're going to pull you over and go through your car. And everybody on planet Earth, right, is looking for this woman. I think that's dangerous. And then if you were really planning on returning her, you're going to have to come back across that border with the woman that everyone on Earth is looking for. I think that would be a bad idea. Derek texted Annie and Tomasco asking, did you get the Bitcoin? We are waiting on our end for the transfer. Are you 100% sure of that, Renee Kennedy? I'm not busting your chops. But anyway, you shake it. Why I don't even like driving from the weed store to the house. I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. According to psychics, he took her home and an argument occurred and he raged, hit her in the head and knew he had to get rid of the body. Okay, the timetable's way off on that, though, for the psychics. The garage door opens, right? But it's 4 hours later when she leaves the house with her pacemaker still ticking. You follow me?
Okay, I just do a little deep dive on the Derek texting Annie and Tommaso.
Right.
4 days ago, they said that he was arrested for that. So that's a bunker story.
No. They're saying, what did he say to get arrested is what they're asking, bud. What was said in the text that they sent. I haven't been able to chase down something solid on that. So the body was probably left somewhere. Taking body everywhere would be difficult. Confident Joy. I can't do that while I'm live.
He was arrested for utilizing a telecommunication device with intent to abuse, threaten, or harass a person.
Correct. All the ransom notes were deemed inauthentic, especially the Bitcoin one. Who deemed that? Who deemed that, Rich? Thank you again. I appreciate the support. Rich says all of the so if by some chance you're right, Rich, and all of these things have been deemed bullshit, when did that happen? Because that sure as shit hadn't happened an hour ago. The FBI is not willing. I cannot get this dude to save my ass. Hold on a second. They weren't willing to come off the FBI is not willing to say that these are fake. They were still saying that they had reason to believe that these were legit. So if all of these have been deemed bullshit, that had to have been done really, really quickly. I mean, that had to have been done since the last show that I did and I fell asleep, right? And no, that wouldn't work either because I checked when I got up. How big a risk is it to travel at night with a dead body with the chance of being stopped by a cop? Quick, get away and dump fast. I wouldn't want to drive around with a dead body. I don't like driving, period. Right? For real. I don't like driving, period. So in those charging documents, how did they say he got caught? Did the people that he texted turn him in? Or are they claiming that these were intercepted by the feds or what happened? By the way, when they rolled up on him, he confessed instantly. I don't know people that hold their mud. If he had anything to do with being involved with this, you're going to start cutting the deal instantly. Turn in the people that you're with. There just aren't that many stand-up cats anymore. Didn't they say they can't authenticate them? They don't know. Yes. What they said is that they've gotten way more than we know of, right? There's another guy that got arrested in Tucson, right? So there are multiple. By the way, is that a Paddock? That looks like a Calatrava. I can't read the dial, but it looks like a Calatrava.
It's a Paddock. Right?
It is a Paddock?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of looks like a Paddock Philippe Calatrava. Anyway, what they said was all of them have been deemed BS except the one that they actually went out and made a speech to. If they don't think that's real, then the FBI isn't helping them record a video to communicate with the people they don't think kidnapped them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Interesting, Frenchie. Interesting, Frenchie. Son-in-law didn't know her nose was bleeding when he carried her out the front door to put her in his vehicle or whatever vehicle they were taking away with her. I said, find out if he went straight home. He wouldn't have done it in his car. They've already taken his car, right? I'll be back. I got to pee. This Budweiser needs to be released. Get rid of that Budweiser. You want to hear something crazy?
I do.
Because of my memory?
Yeah.
This is the famous Budweiser beer. We know of no other brand produced by any other brewer which costs so much to brew and age. Our exclusive Beechwood aging produces a taste, a smoothness, and a drinkability you will find in no other beer at any price. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
I can do the Rolling Rock.
I can do every beer I ever drank. I can tell you what's on the label of it. I have a problem. And I don't drink. Texas, the watch could have been put in the freezer. Neckbeard came by later, took it out. The ransom, not from the killers. Neckbeard and Amy got caught off guard. I do like Neckbeard and his wife for this. I'm sorry, I do.
I don't think that they killed her or they set it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. Debbie Patterson says, no, you can't go through the border, not with the Trump drug situation. They'll let you go into Mexico fast as shit, right? They're not worried about what you're bringing into Mexico because they're worried about drugs coming into the United States. And they're hoping that people are going into Mexico to run away from the United States. So while I wholeheartedly believe it's a lot harder to get into the United States, and you would have to get you'd have to get back into the United States. And maybe that's what you were saying, Debbie. But getting out of the United States is pretty damn easy. I don't think her nose was bleeding. I think they could have used a syringe to draw the blood and let it drip for effect. Maybe. The back door was left open. It absolutely was. Right? Yeah, no, I'm no savant, I promise you. Only 10 p.m. in where? If you're saying Ecuador, no, it's here in Ecuador, it is 1:20. Could it have been someone from the church? I mean, it could be, right? It could have been someone from the church. I don't know that passes the smell test for me, but it could have been. Do we know if Neckbeard is still in the country? Neckbeard can't fart without the feds knowing where he is. They do not let people like that disappear. Neckbeard was looking for something in the house. She woke up. Things went bad. Interesting. That's a possibility, isn't it? I believe from day one they were both involved. Why do we think the FBI hasn't bumped up the reward? Ain't Todd? That's a great question. Why a nationwide silver alert? Strange, right? Rich Buddy, what kind of watch is that a picture of? Is that a dial off of a Patek Philippe Calatrava, a 93 reference number? They're looking for an inheritance, not a ransom. Well, then why? So you think the ransom was done by somebody else? I might believe that. But if they're looking for an inheritance, there's no reason to fake a kidnapping. Dude, you may be right. I bet when an arrest is made, it will be someone that has never been mentioned or on any online streamer's radar. That could be. Especially because of how little we're being told. However, I think he will have a connection to Neckbeard. Yeah. The nationwide silver alert is because since they started putting up those billboards, they have done amazing work in being able to locate people that have gone outside of a state. Those electronic billboards, so you don't have to put up paper. You can just instantly put up a person's face. They've used them for Amber Alerts. They've used them for senior citizens, and they have done it with remarkable success. So they wanted to get that going, and they believe a lot of the bullshit that has come in. One of the things they said is it'll take us about this long to drive back. You saw Harvey Levin put that circle and say she could be in any of these states according to that. I think that's bullshit anyway, but.
The real Zarp. Assuming the ransom note is real, the family didn't pay the ransom, so what would the next step be for the kidnappers? How likely would they actually kill her, or would they just leave her alive and run?
Oh, I don't think they'd leave her alive. I don't think they would. You, I mean, just as a criminal, not being cold-hearted or anything else. I mean, you wouldn't get rid of her?
I would.
Yeah, I'd shit can her as fast as I could. Why isn't there tool marks on the door?
Sorry.
Yep, on the door camera back plate. Interesting.
How did he get the name Neckbeard? Please post that picture.
How did he get the name Neckbeard? That would have been me, unfortunately. I'm not mature in any way. I'm really not. I got to work on it. I blame my wife. I don't know if you ever watched her content, but she's worse than me. Ransom note number 1 said pay by last Thursday for $4 million. If they wait till today, it went to $6 million. Yeah, but I believe that was 2 different notes, right? The first one said $4 million. After that went by, they got another one that said $6 million. That was my understanding, but we really don't know. That's a full War of Warcraft neckbeard gamer. Hey, thank you, Misty Blankenship. I appreciate that.
Brock Bandy sent me something interesting. I don't know if he wants me to say it.
Knock yourself out.
With Nancy being Christian and Annie being Wiccan,
oh yeah,
and possible neckbeard, Nancy could have said, hey, if you don't get away from the satanic thing, you're out of the well.
There are a lot of people who are Christians that don't deal with that.
Critical thinking.
Yeah, importing drugs to the United States has gotten very, very dicey. I've told my drug friends that importing drugs in the future with the Trump policies isn't going to happen anymore. It's going to get a lot more difficult. They will always find a way to get it in here. And the reason is you can buy, like where we're at right now, where we live, you know, in South America, you can buy cocaine for pennies compared to what it would cost in the United States. There's always going to be some asshole that is going to be willing to risk their life because that's their golden ticket. That's their ransom. Right, that's their the easy way to make money, and crime runs on the idea of this will be easy, right? We just got to swallow all of these condoms full of this stuff, and we get on an airplane. The technology's gotten amazing. Like when you get on the airplane now, and they make you stand like this with your hands above your head, and that device goes around you, it will find the dope that you swallowed. Right, you're going to get caught. They're getting very, very good at this. I heard that no one called her from the church. They've gone around so many times on this. Yeah, I think you might be right, Lawn Dog. But a lot of these drugs you can put in the ground and you can grow. And let's be really honest, you're never, no matter how much we get good at shutting shit down, you can't win the war on drugs from the supply side. You got to win it from the demand side. And it's going to take a very long time to get it so that people stop wanting to get high. You want to get rid of drugs, make it stop getting high.
Change the cage.
Yeah, it's a cage issue. It really is, right? People do it.
Another Danny Bonaducci.
She passed in Mexico. The perp concern is not money not returned. I don't think she passed in Mexico. I don't think that there's no benefit to them trying to take her across the border. It's a really big risk. You could kill her in the U.S. You could also hide her in the U.S. Apparently, I sound like Danny Bonaducci.
That's what I hear.
That is not the first person to say that. Now I believe I sound like Danny Bonaducci. I'm a little freaked out. It may have to do with the fact that I have talked for probably 30 hours in the last 3 days. I sound like I've been gargling with broken glass. Tommy, I agree these drugs are never going to go. Government corruption, like in South America, next on their list of reorganization. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. And this may come as a shock to everybody that talked about how much people were really freaked out about coming down. And I got nothing against Danny Bonaducci.
Sing something.
I sing all the time. No, I sing on here all the time. You haven't heard me go, allegedly.
Hey, how many of you watching sing allegedly when you think about it?
After the assault, he went home to cover his alibi timeline and returned later to finish up, which extended the hours. Snooky, good thought. Good thought. Here's the problem, though, right? The problem is that that pacemaker said that she was still alive. So if he left, right, and then came back, she would have been dead, right? That didn't happen because when she separated from the base, when the pacemaker got more than 200 feet away or whatever and was no longer connected, her heart was still beating. See, I want to think exactly what you just said. That's where my head has gone from Jump Street. He killed her at Annie's, right? They killed her at Annie's, then they had to cover the shit up. And that's when everything went haywire. But it doesn't look like that could have happened. No, see, this is something that a lot of people think, right? This is something that a lot of people think, that the pacemaker automatically connects to her doctor's office. The phone automatically connects to the doctor's office. So that app, you have to get linked. If you think about your cell phone, where the hell is my cell phone? Here it is. If you think about your cell phone, there's a battery inside this puppy, right? And this battery is only going to, hey, rich buddy, have a good night's sleep. And maybe someday tell me if that's a Patek Philippe that you use in your shot. But this thing connects to towers, right? I got to charge the battery on it constantly. The thing inside a pacemaker, that's a 10-year battery and you ain't charging it. It doesn't have the kind of power to contact the doctor's office. It has the kind of power that will get you 200 feet to your phone and that will ping to the towers. Does that make sense? I'm still in my house. I have an RV. I'm done with this shit. Live your life free. That's the spirit. It's a 5196 Calatrava. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a beautiful watch, man. Calatrava is one of my all-time favorite watches. It invented the sports watch genre. Absolutely invented it. I think Annie is on Xannies, almost comatose. You know what's funny? In the second video, she's doing this one, right? She would open her eyes and then shut them and keep them shut because in the first one, she was going like this, and she probably heard people talk about her blink rate. I say son-in-law arrested tomorrow, Frenchie says. I think 3 days, but I think, and she may be on Xanax. I'll tell you something. It's a pretty easy city to get Xannies illegally in. What's the point of having a camera you can't go back and look at to see what happened? I agree with you. I'm blown away by that. A pacemaker can keep sending signals long after someone dies. Theoretically, it will never stop sending signals, especially if it's especially if it's also a defibrillator, because what it's going to do is keep trying to shock that heart back into rhythm, right? It's going to keep trying to shock that back into rhythm. And every time it does, it's going to tell the phone what it's doing. After in-laws arrested, they will pull in the daughter. You have a Patek Nautilus? Oh, such a beautiful watch, Pamela. You know what? That watch, you know who designed that, right? Yeah, same guy that designed yours. He designed everything, man. The Nautilus was designed by the same guy that did the Pi Pan at Omega, one of the all-time great designers. This poor old lady, Misty Blankenship, that may be the best comment of anyone. There is no reason why it should stop sending signals. It shouldn't until somebody goes in there or the battery dies. Laud, someone is going to find that pacemaker in the desert. They could. It's a very expensive device too. With my dad, I know that they had to tell the people at the who processed him after he was dead because they don't want to. He was cremated. They don't want to do cremation and have that thing explode. I pay $7 a month for a rig subscription, and I'm poor. Yeah, and so you don't have a daughter that works, for NBC and makes $8 million a year. I'm telling you that this never made sense to me. And again, if it's an inside job, maybe Neckbeard got her to turn it off.
I think they had it, and they just reported that.
Misty Blankenship says, yeah, Johnny Scoville says he thinks that they actually did pay it, and it's the FBI lying. And I will lean to that. So when someone dies, do they remove the pacemaker? They do. If the heart dies, the pacemaker keeps working. It keeps not all pacemakers, but a pacemaker / defibrillator, right? Which will shock you back into rhythm. It will also shock you if your heart stops. Why move the watch and let it charge and not power off? It's a good question. But do we know that it was... I don't know if we know whether the watch was on or off, though, do we? They do remove pacemakers, says Renee Kennedy. Guess who's back again? Good God, you were peeing Budweiser that entire time? Bro, go for the large pedal, right? Put both feet on it and pump those brakes. Maria del Carmen Lopez, a 63-year-old American citizen kidnapped from home in Pueblo Nuevo, Colima, Mexico on February 9th, 2023. Kidnappers demanded a six-figure ransom shortly after the abduction. I'm sorry to hear that, but it's supposed to be shortly after the abduction. Did they get her back, DC? Did they get her back? Who wears a watch to bed? No one. I don't wear a watch to bed, and I love watches.
I don't wear anything. Sorry.
I really could have gone without knowing all of that. Seems to happen all the time. Kidnapping, ransom-related Mexico. We all know basically the border is 100 miles into the U.S. these days. They're not coming across the border to do dirt. I promise you. I did a lot of crime with people from Mexico. I was super into that. They do not like getting caught in America because they're going to have to do time, a shitload of it, right? It really, they're very good at making money in the United States without risking going to prison in the United States. There's no benefit to them. And I'm telling you, the original ransom was $4 million. This is not enough money. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button if you haven't before, because damn it, I need it. You know what I mean? He's got that thing. You know what it's like having an older brother that's got a silver play button, and I'm over here just working my ass. No one asked. Not big a deal. Ransom demand shortly after the abduction. The family received a proof of life audio recording in which Lopez begged them to comply with the kidnappers' demands. That happens a lot. They have the people. Was Nancy on pain meds? Eddie, we assume she was. And it is an assumption because they're not letting out any of this. But the daughter said that without her medication, she would be in excruciating pain. Suspects arrested in April of 2025. How about that? I'm glad that they got them. It was reported that the two suspects, Juan Antonio Gayton Diaz, and Cortez Valencia, were arrested for their involvement in the kidnapping ring. There is a lot of kidnapping for profit done in Latin American countries because they get away with it. About 70% of those kidnappings people get away with. However, they almost always get the people back, too. It's very, very rare that anybody gets killed. You heard she was on pain patches. There is a rumor out there that the pain patches were left behind. If that's fentanyl, it says a lot about the people that did this. They seemed to be myopic. They spent 40 minutes in there and didn't take dope. Most people that commit crimes will take dope. Or any jewelry or anything else. That's bizarre to me. FBI involved. The FBI is treating this as a targeted kidnapping and is offering a reward of up to $25,000. Misty Blankenship says, I don't think she's alive, sadly. I wish that she was. Bro, read yours. All right, let me try to find that, man. Can you find Smokes a lot? I cannot. I'm looking for it, my man.
Don't worry, I'll find it.
You got it?
No, I will, though. No.
Yeah, I can't find it there, brother. We have a pretty good chat rate going right here. See, here's the other thing. So there's also, we don't know about the back door, man. When do I get to see my wife? Not often enough, Janet, I'll tell you that. She comes down here fairly regularly, though. She was here over New Year's. She should have had a housekeeper. She had a housekeeper that didn't live there but would come in. Most people in Tucson have a lot of people that are coming by the house. You got a gardener, right? You got a pool person. You probably have somebody that mows your yard. There are landscapers. And she had people that were coming in and helping her because of her age. And I'm sure they're looking at every single one of them. The obvious place would be the phone would be on the charger, so possibly the phone wasn't on the charger. Well, it was the watch. Hey, Jeannie Hansen. I'm glad that you're here. Ironically, Johnny talks less on the stream with Johnny than he does when he's off screen. That's because I can't shut up. Sadly, I don't think she's alive either. Yeah. Here's the thing. If I didn't nap before I did this, but I was running on empty, people.
You rarely snore. I'm not sure if it's a snore, but you're breathing heavy.
I was in a hammock, though. In my own defense, I was in a hammock.
It's comfortable, isn't it?
Yeah, her watch would have been on the charger. If her watch was on the charger, that's a really good guess, right? Like anybody could guess that. Okay, see this? Pacemakers don't shock for I stole. Watch yourself. It's not a nice thing to say. It only shocks for VFib and VTAC. Nurse here. Okay. Oh, he said Brent McGee disappeared from Leachville, Arkansas on July 11th, 2024 and has never been heard from again. Yeah, but see, this happens a lot. Oh, I love that. My wife liked a scarf. You know what? Reese has she has good taste, except in men. Johnny is the AI brain that compliments Tommy with his brain farts. See that?
When he scrolls off, I usually know where he's going.
There is something to that. We have a bit of a communication that's it's almost creepy. I got to pee too, so you're on your own.
All right. You got any questions? Fire them away.
That's old age.
Nonsense.
That is old age.
So I appreciate you guys all being here. Yeah, do me a favor. Hit the notification button. Subscribe if you haven't. He likes it. He needs that plaque.
Be nice.
I am.
Sound nice.
I'm being nice. How is the kitty? The real Alex? The kitty's great. She's huge. She's a menace. You know what? She's too big. It's like giving a 16-year-old kid who just got his license, a 500 horsepower car. She has too much power. She's not
quite sure how to use it.
Exactly. 1 hot minute time. Yeah, you know what? Maybe this upcoming week we'll do one, Timothy.
It doesn't affect your pacemaker, Henry's World. You don't need the phone. You don't need the phone for your pacemaker to work. Now, Lisa White can back me up on this, or she can tell me I'm an idiot. But my understanding is if your phone isn't connected, you're just not getting all the information backed up. But the phone doesn't make the pacemaker work. The pacemaker works just fine without the phone. Yesterday or the day before, but I have been watching Johnny Scoville for years. I love that.
I do appreciate it.
Johnny, could it be a missing 411? I don't know what that is. 411. Missing information? My phone is tripping. I hate when that happens. No, somebody else said that, Henry. No, I understand the pacemaker would work, but I mean tracking the pacemaker. It's certainly not going to track. Oh, trying to track. Okay, so you would have to be within 200 feet of it, and you would have to stop. Tommy's not drinking Bud. He had a quick piss stop. That's right.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? The chicken. God didn't make eggs. He made animals.
Interesting. There you go. He's got an angle. Bigfoot or aliens? There you go. There you go. There is no proof of a kidnapping at this point. Nevertheless, they still carried in a light ring for them. They still wrote the damn script for them. They're not telling us what they know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Rody Red says, I have a pacemaker / defibrillator and it's not hooked up to my phone. I don't think Dad's was either, was it?
No.
I just watched the pepper eating contest against Johnny and the UK girl earlier today. They were both freaking out at the end. Yeah, you got to try those peppers, man. I don't know if you've ever seen any of the pictures of me getting abused by my brother with peppers, but it absolutely sucks. Johnny likes to beat on me. He's been doing this to me since I was 4.
Let it go.
He sat on top of me and forced me to eat. He forced me to eat a pepper when I was 4. Another nurse here. The other nurse.
How long are you going to talk about that?
Well, maybe if you ever really said you're sorry and meant it, but you've never done that. You're always telling me to get over shit. You should just say you're sorry.
Man, I'm so sorry.
You're not trying to sell that, man. Another nurse here. The other nurse was trying to say that the defibrillator will only shock for certain heart rhythms, but not when the heart stops. Oh, I see. So it's not a defibrillator then. I mean, it's not because defibrillators, right? Isn't a defibrillator going to shock your heart not just back into rhythm, but like an AED, an automatic external defibrillator is what we would. I rode an ambulance when I was really young, before the drug thing got a hold of me. So yeah, help me on that one if you can. So if the person's heart stops, it's not going to do dick. It almost sounds as if somebody may have contacted authorities to warn that the Bitcoin payment was being sent to a fraudulent source, claiming they knew who was responsible. That's an interesting. It kind of, here we go. Kind of depends on the settings that the pacemaker defibrillator have. Thank you. This, you know what? A couple of other people have said this, and I'm not saying that this is BS, but what's the benefit of that? You know what I mean? Why do they not want her at the Olympics?
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly kept her from going to the Olympics, but what's the benefit of that? Like somebody kidnapped her mom because they wanted someone else to get that. Like, my girlfriend's going to get the part if everyone tells their family and friends, come visit the lifeboat and chase the heat and select notify. You never know when they will be going live next. Need to get viewership up. Timothy Glass, you're a beast. Thank you. My father-in-law has a pacemaker / defibrillator since 2006. Just got a new one put in the heart. Doctor reads activity in the office at the hospital. Hi, good to see you. You know what? Does he do that in real time and it's not hooked up to a base? How long? So 2006. So the first one lasted 20 years. Holy shit. And I'm blown away by that. Her network still went to the Olympics. Yeah, no question. Historical and current missing persons out of the blue here, 1 minute gone the next. Yeah, it's sad. Could be revenge for her for a story she's covered. If you're just going to do revenge, I mean, why do it the way that they did this?
Right.
You had to have studied the crap to pull this off. I'm sorry. You had to know the house, you had to know the schedule, and you had to have the balls to go into somebody's house that, I don't care how old you are. You can pick up a gun and shoot someone.
What do you think they actually did some research and they had all the drugs she needed? They just left the ones in the house to throw people off.
Well, that's a possibility. If you were doing this and trying to do it right. Okay, I'm going to try it again. So if you're walking around your house and your watch goes dead because it's lost to charge, what kind of message does it send regarding your pacemaker? I do not know the answer to that. Do any of our nurses know the answer to that? This is the first time I've never heard anyone take a kidnapping claim famous relative. It doesn't, says Pamela. Hey, Eva Marie, how are you? It could be Annie and Neckbeard were tired of taking care of Nan. I'm sure of it. Look, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? You got this super successful brother and sister. They're living their life, having a good time. You're over there taking care of her full time. And look, I love my mom, but I took care of my mom for years, and it will grate on you a little, right? It's a difficult thing, and I love my mom. But if she was my mother-in-law and I was doing it, I think that would have been tough. My mom had a pacemaker, and when she passed, the pacemaker didn't keep zapping her. I don't think they have enough power to jolt a stopped heart back into beating. There are psychopaths that hold grudges, plan a long time. There are psychopaths out there. There are absolutely psychopaths out there. It just seems like it would be an odd.
Shortly after Woodstock, Jimi Hendrix was kidnapped for 2 days.
Is that true?
I wouldn't lie to you.
You might.
I would, but only if there's a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
And there's no money here.
So you're not bullshitting.
No, it's true.
How did they get him back?
I'll find out in a minute.
I pity the person that will have to take care of me. Pamela, I get it. That's why I went to South America. I didn't want any of my family to have to do that. Hi, guys from Indiana. I saw that Savannah and her husband are in the Epstein files. I'm wondering if this could be a sign up to draw attention away from the Epstein files.
Okay, so
it's not going to draw attention away, though. If this goes on for a month, what do you think is going to happen the second it's done? I'm going to start talking about the Epstein files. Every day I'm still working on it, and I'm going to tear that shit up. I hope you all watch it. But I don't think that passes the smell test. That's just, and I understand why people would say it, but I think that we have to, politics has become so divisive. The Epstein files are awful, but I don't think that they would grab an 85-year-old woman to get us to stop talking about it for a month. Are there drivable trails behind the house? No, there aren't really trails. It doesn't work like that. And there really isn't a behind the house. All of the houses kind of sit, though you own 4 acres and your house sits in the middle of it. Your neighbor owns 3 acres. Their house is in the middle of their 3 acres. It was designed in such a way so that animals can still cruise around the house. They didn't want any of the neighborhoods to screw with the local wildlife, which I think is awesome. We're all on Epstein paranoia. We are, to be sure. But we can't look for, I did this with Diddy, people. I don't know if you've been following me a long enough period of time. I was really deep into the Diddy stuff. And we started looking for people who went to freak offs at every single, squirrel and zipper. At every single turn, we were looking for people that had been at freak offs. And by the time it was all said and done, my brother and I were the only 2 people in North America that were not linked to a Diddy party and a freak off. And the truth is, most of those people never, ever did anything bad, but we got smutted up for everything.
So real quick, here's what happened to Hendrix. They snatched him. A guy named John Roberts, who was a cocaine trafficker and club operator with actual mafia ties, claimed he found out about the kidnapping and intervened.
Really? They
say that Jimmy was so intoxicated during this period, he likely didn't even realize he was kidnapped.
I'm sorry, that's not funny, but it is. I heard earlier that Annie and T gave consent for the search to their house. Okay, so this is how that would work, right? You would have the feds go, hey, would you be all right? Would you be okay with us going and taking a look through your house? Even if they said yes, every single damn time one of these things happened, the defense attorney goes into court and says, well, no. We said that they could go in there. We didn't say they could be looking for this. It's a great way to get a case destroyed. So even if they did ask them, they wanted to see their response because they're going to get a search warrant one way or the other. Because if you don't get a search warrant, you could go in there, find all the evidence you need, and a good defense attorney is going to go, they didn't have a warrant for that. You went into their house without a warrant. When they said, yeah, I don't have a problem going in and looking at it, bullshit. Ain't no way they're going to, I mean, even Barney Fife, right? At least the FBI is here at this point. Barney Fife might have let them do that. Could have been a home hairdresser who came around each 3 months. It could be. It could be anybody, but I have a feeling. Hey, just subscribed. Can't wait for the Copperfield shit. Good. I like it. You know, he's a great magician.
That's what I hear.
You're not going to be able to make this one disappear. I promise you. He can make a tiger disappear. He's not going to be able to make. Wait till you see the pictures of him from the Epstein files. He's a creepy piece of shit, man.
But there were rumors about him being a dirtbag way before I heard anything about Diddy.
Yeah. No, he's a piece of shit. I promise you, there's a lot of people in the Epstein files that are worth us hating. And there's a lot of people in the Epstein files. Look, Epstein had 5 planes. He would let people get on it and fly around, right? Even when he wasn't on them. So when you hear that, oh, he was on Epstein's plane, that doesn't mean dick.
There are no pictures of me and Diddy.
I have a picture of you and Diddy. Why did Miss Guthrie get an Uber to go have dinner with the daughter? Maybe mom went over because she was upset about something, could have injured her arm on the way out the door. Could have. I kind of like the idea of them going over there, but I mean, angry. I like that as a concept. But allegedly, they were over there playing Mahjong and having a good time. Now, that could be bullshit, but when I first saw Copperfield in the Epstein files, I didn't believe it. Now I'm the he's a piece of shit camp. Yeah, Robin W., he is. There's pictures. You won't believe the pictures. Woody Allen is the biggest pedophile in the files, and nobody is even talking about him at all. Oh, I am. And there's a email between the two of them where they were going to meet up in France, And the conversation goes like this: what is it exactly that we're going to be visiting? And they said, a pedophile convention. Swear to God. And Woody's response back was, wouldn't it be pedophy, like plural? Like they're just laughing about it. This is so out. It's not like any of the other stuff in there. This is so out in the open. It's like, hey, we're going to go talk about banging kids. Yeah. I promise you, I'm not letting anybody get away from, if this was designed to keep us from talking about Epstein, they're just giving me more time.
Jimmy Scoville, everybody knew about him. He talked about it openly.
Correct. Yeah, Woody sucks. And look, you know, can you still like his movies? That's really the question, isn't it? I don't give a shit. I mean, I don't. I can look at a movie as art. There are actors in there that got nothing to do with Woody. I can still enjoy movies even if the people involved suck. But I'm not likely to watch anything out of Hollywood ever again anyway. I just don't do it. Lisa Chapman, I agree with you. Nah, the family killed her. If that was your mom and you wanted your mom back, I would be pissed and would have paid the money dead or alive. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Bill Gates is in there too. I don't know who all was at Annie's that night. I'd like to know that too. Do you need 4 people to play Mahjong? I've never played it. I have a great Mahjong set though. You remember that?
But you never played it.
I've never played it. No,
Is that one on Ivory?
Yeah. And Bone and all that. I got it in a watch trade. Bill Gates came out of the womb looking like a pedo. Well, he turned it into an art form by the time he was in his 50s. He was hanging out. He was hanging out with Epstein long after he was busted.
You know, he owns more farmland in America than almost anybody else. He's been buying up farmland.
Really? He's not a good person.
You control the food. You control everything.
Yeah. He's a creepy piece of shit. And I promise you, people, it's definitely not going to, nobody's going to get away with that.
Great question. Why would you refuse a lie detector if you're completely innocent?
Well,
you wouldn't.
Well, here's the thing. If I'm completely innocent, look, I robbed a lot of banks.
Hold on. Right?
Yeah, I robbed a lot of banks. If the feds came to me right now and said, hey, we think you robbed a bank, we would like to give you a polygraph, I would tell them to blow me where the pamper sits. However, right? However, if they want to talk to me about my missing mother, I'm going to suggest the polygraph because I don't want you jackwagons taking months looking at me when you should be looking at whoever did it. And there are famous cases of them looking at the wrong person. They won't get off of the husband or they won't get off the boyfriend because traditionally speaking, you look at family first. I don't think it's the tomato. He won't want to shave that neck. Mop man, he already shaved it.
I can't find any pictures of him clean shaven.
I've heard it from a source. I think the family dinner is BS. Don't think she ever set foot back in the house. She may have been in the garage, which caused the PM to activate while someone took care of the security cameras. So how do we explain then that good size gap, right? So you think the blood there was planted? You think she was killed at Annie's? I can't make that work in my head. Maybe they're Satanists, says Misty Blankenship. You know what? I have a lot of people who are Wiccan that have watched my channel. I don't know a lot about it. I really don't.
Bill Gates is the largest private owner of farmland in the United States.
And a toucher of kids.
Apparently.
There are photos. Yeah, I would have taken the test and passed. Yeah, right? And it's, by the way, it's normally the first friggin' thing that you do. They say to you instantly, right off the bat, hey, let's eliminate all you, right? We want to make sure you guys didn't do it. So let's just get a polygraph. We're going to knock this out really quickly. And then that way we're not going to waste any time dealing with you. You know what? After 48 hours, the percentage starts to go down. That is not for kidnapping. That's a statistic that I misquoted a little in the beginning. But I don't know. I'm a felon. I didn't know that Bill Gates was. I got a grip of him, though. I am felonious Tommy. I am felonious Tommy. Oh, yeah, you are.
Felon?
Yeah.
I'm not a felon.
I don't want to put this out for the entire world to see, but I'm pretty sure you're a felon, bro. I saw clips of Nancy with drinks. Do you think she had drinks at Annie's and needed to get help into bed? Drinking can cause curves in the path you intended to walk. That's true. It's an interesting, and if you're playing Mahjong, you may be able to do that.
Bill Gates is not a felon.
Yeah, I'd never heard that before.
I checked.
Do you think Savannah is going to be heartbroken when she finds out her sister is involved? If, in fact, her sister is involved, I think it's going to be absolutely horrific for her. I can't imagine if my mom disappeared and I found out that my sister...
side eye already?
Say it again?
You don't think she's given her the side eye already?
Oh, she's probably giving her the side eye. I would never take a polygraph. Too much baseline anxiety for mine to be accurate. You know, allegedly, they take that into account, right? So even if your baseline is completely jacked up, the baseline is what they're going to take. So let's say we'll do this on a number basis to make it easier to think about. So let's say my baseline of anxiety is a 4 and yours is a 10. They're looking, the 10's fine. When it goes to a 12, we got an issue. You follow me? That make any sense?
It does.
It's getting kind of late. I feel like maybe I'm stupid again. No, I know I used to be a different person. Here's the deal. I wouldn't want to take a polygraph test for the government because I've seen what cops do, right? When I was getting interrogated about the bank robberies, they had my best friend, Josh, like 3 doors down saying to him, Rock just told on you. He said that you were his getaway driver. He said he's not going down alone. They were just in there. I've watched the video, lying to him, telling him all of this shit that I said about him. Turns out he's got the hots for your wife. I mean, just the craziest shit in the entire world. And my boy was a solid dude. You know what I mean? He was in there going, really? Makes a lot of sense. I wish I was a felon, then I wouldn't have so many guns. Well, you know what? I made that mistake too, but none anymore. The brother hasn't sat next to Annie in a video. Interesting, Mop Man. Interesting. Do y'all really think Annie and Tommaso would hurt Nancy in front of the little girl? No, I think she got home fine. Everything happened later. I don't think it happened at the house. It doesn't make sense that it happened at Annie's. That doesn't make sense to me. Was there any X in any of their posts?
Interesting.
Don't know. Before we end the night, I want everyone to pay for those living in silence, to pray for those living in silence, dealing with drug addiction. Absolutely, people. And you know what? If you need help, talk about it. The opposite of addiction is connection. For real.
It's this.
It's what we're doing. Bro looks like a murker. He does, man. He really does. And you know something? I'm going to catch shit because people go, you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't talk about someone being guilty because of the way they look. And you're right. You shouldn't do that. But damn. I mean, honest to God, he looks like he's ready to tie, what's her name, to the railroad tracks.
Dora Standpipe.
Dora Standpipe, right? He looks like he's ready to tie somebody to the railroad tracks. That was the Dover boys. What was the other one? Oh, man. Who said she took a Uber to Annie's house? If, in fact, she did, why was it necessary? She absolutely took an Uber to Annie's house, but she got driven back home by them. Yeah, you know, someone just made a good point. It was going pretty quick, but Neckbeard looks cartel. I think he looks Italia band. He's definitely Italian, but he kind of has that. Penelope, thank you. I was waiting for somebody to do that. It's a weird thing. I would be a little flipped out if my mom lived 4 miles from me and she had to take a Uber to my house. That I find really odd. Man, did you see that? Lousy, no good. Squirrel, do something to earn your keep. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear that? She did it on demand. Me and my bro thought he looked like an Arab earlier. Yeah, well, I saw a picture of him next to Nancy. I looked at the eyes of both of them. Yeah, I honestly, I like them for this. And I know that people don't like me saying this shit, but the way that they have acted has been a bust. If my mom was missing and I walked outside and the media was there, they're my best friend, right? The more I can do with the media, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're right. The son-in-law is getting blamed only because people have no other clues. Now, when you refuse to take a lie detector to eliminate yourself.
Yeah, Breezy, I disagree with that.
Smell bad.
Not only that, but
just saying.
But look, he comes out of the house. He pulls his shirt up like this, right? Like he's a bank robber from 05, and he's got a hat pulled down like this. Who the hell does that? You walk out. This is the one time that the press isn't a pain in the ass. These are the people that might get other people around the country. Like if your mom just got kidnapped and you can't get anybody to look at what you're looking at, this is the best thing that could happen in the world. If really and honestly, this was a kidnapping, you want the media out there, right? You want them looking for your mother. So you come out and go, hey, little respect for the family, but do me a favor and get everybody praying for this. If you see anything, if you hear anything, please, blah, 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 right? Do I have a word of advice to anyone lurking in need of direction for their fight against drugs? It is better to be sober. I spent 30 years shooting heroin, and I'm telling you right now, getting up in the morning and not needing a drug is heaven on earth. Boy, I don't care whether you're rich, you're poor, you're happy, because since I got sober, I've had shit life. I was in prison when I got sober. I've woken up in solitary confinement sober. It still beats the piss out of being out in the real world on dope. There's nothing better than being sober.
Connection. When you get into addiction, you wall everything off and you isolate. Because you have to.
Absolutely.
You can't know about what you do. So you keep that life separate. So
yeah, even if you got 9 people around you, you're not connecting to any of them. The only thing you talk about is dope.
Yep.
For real, the only thing you talk about is dope. But if the media were out in front of my house and my mom was missing, Johnny Scoville and I would be out there going, hey, you know what? You guys got to get this word out to everybody, please, right? We don't want to stop looking for blah, blah, blah. You don't go like this and run to the car, right? That stinks of guilt. I'm sorry, man. It stinks of guilt. Thank you, Rhodey Red. And Amy says, one day at a time. Yeah, there was a lot of times, I'm not going to lie. There were some times where I was just trying to get through the next, 15 minutes. People think Wiccan or pagan is satanic, but it is not. Satanism is satanic. You make a good point. 18 years sober? Good for you. That's winning right there.
Awesome.
That's winning right there. Withdrawals are terrible. I was on opiates for back pain. Kevin, I'm telling you, how bad is it now? You've gone through withdrawals. Can you imagine being 85 years old or 84 years old for the first time ever trying to kick dope? There has not been one search. I'd be wanting people searching. There was a search, Deanna. They called that search off at hour 30, but they were searching their asses off on the first day. Snooky says, psychics also indicate Neckbeard was into child porn and that she was going to report him.
I don't like the guy, but that's dangerous.
Yeah, I have a real struggle saying that out loud.
Right.
However, a lot of people are trying to tie child porn into this because they saw 23 years. I love that because they saw the group out there that was researching, a group famous for researching that, CCAC or whatever they call it, crimes against ICAC, internet crimes against children. But they bring them out even when they're 17 years.
Penelope Pitstop.
Well, that's right. And here's the thing: if you found out that somebody was into child porn, would you plan on turning them in? Like I would be like about to make love to my wife. I'd hear that and be like, sorry, babe. Got to make a phone call. I'm turning some fool in for that before I pee, right? Before I scratch myself. Done meth from 2014 to 2020. Haven't thought about it since. I love that. Till I wrote this anyway. That's it. Pit stop. Well played. Feds know Beard Man did it. They are trying to find the body, and they're also trying to build a case, right? Once you arrest this guy, the clock starts ticking. He gets a good lawyer, and they start screaming about a speedy trial. You have to have your ducks in a row before you arrest this dude. Unless you get lucky, right? You can arrest him on some stupid charge. Then you can build your case and book him, right? Superseding indictments. They do that shit all the time. They'll get him for abuse of a corpse or something stupid, and then they will build the case. But they're not going to Dastardly, Neckbeard, or Muttley. Hey, don't pick on Muttley.
Muttley's pretty good.
Sorry. Entertainment purposes only. Snooky, I'm not mad at you. I promise I'm not mad at you. And we do talk theories here, right? And I'm in South America, so if they're going to sue me, we're in good shape. Right? Yeah.
It's hard to sue somebody internationally. I think we're good.
Well, and you know what? You got to serve me with papers. And this may come as a shock to you, but we don't even have the mail. We don't even have a mail service where I live.
No mailbox, no mail trucks, no post office.
Is that not awesome?
I love that.
Yeah. I was supposed to have a 4-level fusion front and back. And the next thing I was overprescribed by the doctor. Talk to Johnny Scoville.
I've had it.
He did that. And he had that surgery too.
Sucks.
And no shit, this is a true story. He was coming out of surgery and I was so freaked out, right? Because they talked about, this was 8 years, Eddie. I love it. They talked about the fact that this was a touch and go kind of we don't get mail, Pamela. We don't get mail. They talked about how it was a touch and go kind of a procedure. And as they were wheeling him out of the operating room, I went up and I said, "You doing all right?" He said, "I'm in so much pain." I said, "I'm sorry." He's like, "I do have good news." I said, "What's up?" He goes, "I just saved a shitload of money on my car insurance."
I remember that.
I swear to you. It was funny as hell. Yeah, the sheriff could foobar the scene, and he did. He really did.
It was supposed to be a 90-minute surgery. It went 5 hours because of complications. It sucked.
Did she know too much? What's all the Epstein shit? No, man. Here's the thing. The Epstein files are out. They don't have to worry about some person that knew something. They got to worry about me. They got to worry about internet people that are going to chase this down that don't give a shit. I don't have a boss that's going to say, stop working on the Epstein stuff.
Reach local out there.
What's that?
Watching Johnny.
Watching Johnny Scoville videos and getting comfortable watching them will make you do some stupid shit with that hot sauce.
Isn't that funny?
There's a lot of truth to that.
Here's the thing. I make it look easy. That's funny, though.
Does the pacemaker put out enough heat? I don't have any idea. I know that I did hear that a metal detector would pick it up. That is wicked funny.
Isn't it, though?
I did hear that a metal detector will pick it up. Thank you, Brian Smith. I love it when somebody congratulates people. I really do. Only half the Epstein files are public as of yet. That's right. And there's going to be a bunch that they don't release because they've got a get out of jail free card. They will not release 1 million of them and say, well, that wasn't part of the release law. Muttley or Precious's laugh. Now I can't remember. No, it was Muttley. That one. Always thinking outside the sandbox, reading between the lines. That's the idea. Here's the thing, man. People will say that I have a criminal mind. It's really what it is. I usually come at it from the criminal angle. I'm assuming you have read Whitney Webb's books. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Does your gut say planned or not? Absolutely planned. From a criminal standpoint, you don't break into someone's house.
Poorly, but planned.
Yeah. I think the kidnapping part, like the snatching part, they went in there, didn't steal anything. I think they did an incredible job of the night of the crime. Everything they did after that is just an absolute shit show. This isn't related to Epstein. They threatened her children over an 84-year-old. Tell a mother you'll traffic her child when she knows you're a pedo. See what happens. Has more power than something. This isn't about Epstein. I'm sorry, it's not, and it's not going to stop anything. You just keep coming back and watching me. Watch what I do with the Epstein stuff. And if you've never seen me talk about Epstein before, go watch the show I do about Epstein's death. I spent more time in the special housing unit in a federal prison than anyone you're ever going to meet. I was a meathead. I punched cops. I did stupid shit. Everything they told us about that night was a lie. They said that the 2 cops didn't call in the count. Let me explain to you how federal prison works in 30 seconds. The count is the most important thing in the world. You count it in to say there's 125 guys here, but it's not really saying that. It's saying we haven't been taken over by the 125 guys in here, right? If they don't get that call, the place goes on lockdown. The goon squad comes out. They're going to claim that twice they didn't call it in. It's never happened in the history of the prisons. They also said that they screwed up on one of the counts and they were 1 person off. If you're one person off, good. If you're 1 person off, they come in, right? 1 person off means someone escaped. They lose their shit. Everything they told us was a lie. Never had to pay anyone and does his trade.
He said, I moved to East Prairie, Missouri about 10 years ago and told all the black people that lived in the apartments I'd give them $20 to eat a spoonful of extract, but nobody survived.
Yeah, you know, something that extract ain't no joke. Or tincture. Blood on the porch is when they realized she had an Apple Watch on and ripped it off her arm on the way out. Maybe. Yeah, look, nobody's escaping anywhere, man. They're not. Norman, me and my friend having a smoke on his deck. As I put out a cigarette and blew out a cloud of smoke, I said, I got to quit. He said, me too. The next day I did. He's around another smoker, though.
Good for you.
I forgot how I found this channel. But after that initial conversation regarding Epstein, I subbed. Great channel, boys. Thank you. Thank you, Real Alex. I appreciate that.
For real.
Do I think they're doing surveillance on Annie and Neckbeard? Oh, my God, yes. And I'll tell you what, if they're driving a car, they've crawled up underneath it and slapped a tracker on it. They are I promise you, they can't fart without the FBI smelling it. Is that bad? Is that not a good reference?
It works for me. I liked it.
Yeah, okay. You wouldn't have gone with something else? You know, it's too bad the camera can't pick this up because Squirrel Nut Zipper is right here, sitting right next to me on the arm of the couch, just being such a lady. Who's a good kitty? You a good girl? God, I love this cat. Will fear of public embarrassment cause us to never know the details of what happened to Nancy? No, we're going to know the details. And the only way we don't know the details, right, is if the feds, never find it out. If they find it out, we're going to. I promise you that. It will. She is a pretty kitty. She really is. It will. I don't have any dogs here. My wife, though, has.
We have a cat that's as big as a dog.
We do. We have a cat as big as my wife has a friggin' petting zoo. And if I allowed her to, she'd have a damn cow. I shit you not. I am sure Savannah has been running through her mind to see if she finds anything that brings her to a direction or reason for this happening. That's all she can do, right? It's all she can do. She can't stop thinking about this. It's awful. I'm not as blown away by her refinancing her house as everyone else is. What if it's a cover up? Midnight Moon. Covering up what? If you kill somebody, right? They got away with it. It was 50 hours before the ransom came in. Why in the name of God would you then bring in the FBI and everybody else? Amy J, this is a great group of people, man. I found you guys last night for the first time. Oh, man, I'm so happy to hear that. Boy, if you see everyone else, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. It will make you happy. Are you trying to get on the computer? You can't get on the computer. You can't get on the computer. Forget me nots. Thank you for my commitment. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And you know something? The super chats, folks, it means the world to me. I don't take any of that lightly. I really don't. You do this long enough and you will get on a tear where things are good. They don't always stay good. I've never, ever taken this stuff for granted. It means the world to me, especially since I started saying things like rape, sexual assault, bullet, gun. What have I forgot? Come on. Suicide. Can't say that one.
False flag.
COVID-19. Yep. I really appreciate you guys. You're fantastic. So what do you think? If I probably at some point used to breed Maine Coon cats. Oh, man, that's so cool.
It's a great animal.
And now go over to check out Reese, says Joanne Marie. You'll thank me later. My wife has a channel called Relatable Reese. I promise you. If you go over there and check it out, she will make you laugh like nobody else on planet Earth. Reese is funny as hell.
By the way, that cat's just a little over a year old.
Do I have a wrench that can put a link up to my wife's channel? Bro, hell, Savannah don't even look like herself. I know, right, Ryan? And I know anytime I say something like this, people shit on me. I'm not saying that she looks bad. I'm saying that she looks like she has been put through a ringer. You know what I mean? She's still a beautiful woman, but she looks exactly like you would expect somebody to look at if their mother disappeared. I don't see the same thing.
That's some real stuff.
I don't see the same thing in her sister.
Her sister looks like she's waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah. I wonder how many times she bought her own house. You have a Maine Coon? I love it. Persian? Wow.
Victoria Burgess, I'm up and I came across your show and I subbed.
You know something? You're not going to regret that. Not because of me, right? Or Johnny Scoville, but we have the best audience in the world, especially for true crime.
And if you haven't subscribed, just do it. It's free. Come on.
Kevin says it's bad enough when your mom dies, but to disappear, oh my God. And then maybe that there's a chance that the sister's in on it, right? That the people that did this, and whether or not it turns out to be Neckbeard and his old lady, it's still going to be someone that knows them. Isn't that funny? Lisa White says, I remember when Katie was so little and kept you up at night, Johnny.
You should see what she does now.
Oh, honestly, she keeps this up now.
She's 20 pounds. She'll jump on you in the middle of the night.
Why are we not talking about the son? The son has lived in Vermont, right? So not very likely that he would have been there. And he is a former lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. He flew with the Green Mountain Boys. The guy is a hero. And normally, there are certain traits that you can kind of track. If you look at the three siblings, you know, two have done very, very well for themselves within their respective careers. The other daughter, well, she's just a little bit different. The son's solid. He's a war hero. I can't sleep if one of my pets is lost. Can't imagine missing a mother. You know something? I can't sleep if one of my pets is lost either. And we don't even let them out. But
yours would be a problem.
When we first got the penthouse, it's really big. And the first time we got the penthouse, my cat disappeared inside it. And it was, hours of me trying to find her because I was stressed out. The Reiners, I'll tell you what, I have not left the Reiners, people, I promise you. How often am I live? Currently, today, about 3 times a day.
Every couple hours.
I've read Annie's poems. And here's the thing. I am absolutely a fan of poetry. I'm wildly into poetry. I've got a bunch of it memorized. I'm super into it. Her stuff, probably not going to memorize it. Did you read any of it?
No, is it spooky? Dark?
Yeah, a little. I don't know that that's the word. I think I'd use the word shitty.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's shitty. But her husband's band,
also shitty.
I'd go with shitty on that too. Yeah, same here. Found you for the first time last night. Really enjoy. Thank you, RC. Cameron being stoic is simply a matter of his training. I agree with that, man. He's used to having shit blow up around him, right? You know, while doing Mach 1. It can't be an easy thing to do. Just subscribed, RV. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, people. I need that. Here's the thing. My brother, he already has a play button. That's that thing behind us. You know, he's got like 150,000 subscribers. And if you don't think I got to hear about that, not freaking stop. I'm kidding. He only says it once or twice a day.
I really don't.
You rub it in.
Can you prove that?
I heard tonight that Nancy, Nancy definitely refinanced the house. However, like I said this before, man, hey, Will, what's happening, brother? I would absolutely do that. Let's say you're getting 18% on an investment consistently. And there was a period of time where anyone that was in Fidelity was getting about 18% annually off of Fidelity investments. There was a time in this country where you could refinance your house and get a rate at like 1 or 2%. Why would you not take that money out of the house and have it start earning you 18% on your money, right? That's a 17% come up. Why is my channel called The Love Boat? Well, technically it was called The Lifeboat, right? It was I do a lot of stuff talking with people about quitting drugs. However, when I moved here, there was a lot of jokes made for years about it. So I changed the name. It's actually The Lifeboat, but the Love Boat thing was a joke. You can change it back and forth. If you look at the actual, the technical name, it's still The Lifeboat.
See, I used to be just Chase the Heat.
Now you're Chase the Heat South America?
I am.
Because you're in South America. Snooki, thank you so much. I appreciate the support.
Thank you.
Subscribe for the kiddies. Humans are a bonus. Johnny, what's your page's name? Chase the Heat. KP, new sub here. You guys are unks I never knew I needed.
We still have a mod here. If they could throw my channel up, that'd be great.
Yes, I do think that.
Stupid things.
I do think that. We throw life preservers to each other here. That's a great way to put it. I wish I could send more, but I appreciate you. You do not have to send more. Jeannie Hansen, you have been a supporter of the channel for a really long time.
Thank you, Brock Bandy.
I really appreciate you, Jeannie Hansen. And Jeannie Hansen is also a very big supporter of my wife, and that means the world to me. Will Power, thank you so much. Look at this. Now I got to start. Now I feel like I got to get off of here because I'm starting to feel guilty with all of the super chats. But boy, 2 hours and 15 minutes, Johnny Scoville. Did you think we had it in this?
Is that how long it's been?
Yeah.
My goodness.
That's a long time.
You should, if you guys haven't, we did a 24-hour one.
We have done a 24-hour one.
I've actually done 5.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think the only sibling that benefits financially is Annie. I agree with you 100%. Will, thank you for the never-ending support. Will knows a little something about doing time in Arizona, so you're probably going to see Will on here. I'm going to be having him on so that we can talk about I've done a lot of time, but the only time that I did in Arizona, I did in the federal system. He did time in the state system. So I will have Will on here so he can tell you a little bit about what these people will have in store for themselves.
I speak Spanish. Do you guys?
Ryan says, I would literally, I'll punch you right in the head.
Relax. Working on it.
Ah, what a kind thing to say, Lisa White says, I love you two together. Boy, you know what? My mom, I'm not sure that she does.
Debbie Loving Life. Thank you so much.
Debbie Loving Life. Well, you know, I want to keep the super chats rolling. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. All of you are, it's humbling stuff. I mean that. It really is. It's humbling stuff. There's a rumor Debbie Loving Life is moving. You know,
I hear that.
She's moving to South America. You're not going to regret it. I'm going to spread the word, Smoke. I promise you. The Glover Park Group, Savannah's husband, is Epstein affiliated. You're welcome. I know that. I absolutely already knew that. But Epstein affiliated is a bullshit statement, with all due respect, right? If anybody whose name appears in that is Epstein related, is that Trump on your emoji? Oh, you're an ideologue, huh? You're one of those cats. Kevin, thank you so much. We don't do politics here, bro. If you have got this figured out because Trump sucks, you're on the wrong channel. Kevin, super sticker. Thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate the hell out of you. I'm Swedish, just woke up. Did they get Nancy back? Any new news? They did not get Nancy back. They did not pay. They didn't pay the Bitcoin address. So as of right now, nothing. And I'm sorry to say that. Thank you so much for joining us. I wish I had better news than that. Robin, look at that dog. Robin, thank you so much. What a beautiful dog.
Thank you, Robin.
Is that a boy dog or a girl dog?
It's a girl dog.
You're calling that a girl?
I am.
Okay.
You'll see.
And if I don't answer, I'm going to be right if you're wrong. And if you're right, I'm just going to say, yeah, I knew it. See that? That's why you don't want to go first. Robin W., thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
She's a good girl.
Look at this. New Zealand.
NZ.
Nice. I really appreciate you, and you look fantastic in green. I mean that from the bottom of my
Robin, is your pup a girl puppy or a boy puppy?
Well, you seemed pretty damn sure of yourself a moment ago.
Well, I am.
He's not. He's lying.
I'm very confident.
I'm not buying it.
You watch.
Tiny Moo, hit that subscribe button, and if anything does happen on this, I promise you we will be the person that tells you. Yeah, I knew, but I said I knew. Shit, paying Bitcoin is easy to track. You damn right it is, man.
Thank you again, Rob.
Hey, Tara. What is up? Good to have you here, Tara. I'm glad you're here. I heard there are some private investigators volunteering their time in the search for Nancy. Your wig would be blown back if you knew the number of private investigators that have already showed up in Tucson and are on this. This is the kind of stuff. Thank you, Tiny. This is the kind of stuff that makes you famous. There are so many private investigators down there. I started to say this on 3 different lives, and you know how I tend to squirrel off occasionally?
No,
I do. From time to time, I don't finish a thought. But I did it today. I think she's dead too. I'm sorry, but I do.
Finish the thought.
I'm working on it. I was about to do it again.
I know.
Thank you for keeping me on track. I talk to everybody that I know. Johnny wins. Robin W., you're better than that. I talked to everybody I know from Tucson, Arizona today. I got a lot of family there. I lived in Tucson for a long time, and I called friends. I called everyone and said, What's it like there? And they said that you don't really notice anything until you get like deep into the Catalina foothills. Like when you actually get over into her neck of the woods, then people are everywhere and they're accosting people in church parking lots and everybody's just a little bit rude. And I said, what's the feeling of Tucsonians? You know, with the people in Tucson, what are they thinking? And she said, she's dead. Everybody I talked to was like, she's dead. This is, they all believe that there are two different crimes here. Somebody went in there to take her and kill her, and then somebody saw the opportunity and is trying to get paid off of it. But they don't think it's and all of them, they don't hang out together, but every one of them I called had the same thought. Yeah, she is dead, but I would still pay to have enough respect to put my mom in the right place. Ryan, I get that, but you could be paying somebody that doesn't know where the body is. If they could prove that they had the body at one point, right, but without proof of life, or in this case, proof of death, would you still give the money? What I don't understand, says, I smoke a lot. Thank you again, New Zealand. Appreciate you. What I don't understand is how they said someone from the church called them to say that she didn't show up at church. And anyone that talked to that person, since we know that was BS. Yeah, I find that odd too. You know what Johnny Scoville doesn't understand?
My left and my right. Is that what you're going to say?
You're getting better, though.
I knew it.
I wrote on his shoes. I put an L and an R. Been trying to help him. It's been working on it a long time. Do you know that when I used to ski in competition, that my boot sponsor literally got me boots that said L and R because the guy thought it was funny as shit. And I caught so much hell. People would be like, man, you really need to put that on your boots. I was like, no, I don't. But if she's passed, I wonder where the body is. Man, there's a lot of places to hide a body in Arizona. There really is a lot of places. Kidnapping is a diversion by Neckbeard? No, I think Neckbeard killed her. And I think that the kidnapping is not a diversion. I think these are greedy pieces of shit. Think of all of the people in foreign countries. Think of all of the people that have no problem whatsoever stealing an elderly person's life savings. I think there are people that are just trying to get paid.
You think Neckbeard?
This is what I heard too. This is what I heard too. Neckbeard, if you're watching the channel, damn, you look guilty, man. You really do. Trying to cover your head, running to the car, not a good look. Take the polygraph.
Come on, man.
Debbie Loving Life, get some sleep.
Thank you again, Debbie.
This is what I heard too, Kevin, that she would get together with some friends and do a Zoom call, and that's how they would watch the church. That way they could kind of talk with one another, and they were all people that were a little bit older that are happier doing it that way. I made a beautiful Alice in Wonderland cutting board design. Do I send it to the address listed here? I would love to get that to you. No, you don't. Send me an email, and I will get you an address that way. It may take a minute. We're getting a lot of emails, but I would love that, but I don't have an address here that you can mail anything to because Ecuador is a little bit different. So what I would do is get it sent somewhere in the States, and the people that come down to see me would bring it. That would be the best bet. But if you send me an email on that, I would really appreciate that. I am an Alice fan. Tommy, had you had any crashes like the ones in the downhill skiing? Oh, my God. I have traumatic brain injury. I have so many concussions from skiing. It is unreal. But what I was doing was not downhill, although we did that for a period of time too. But I was a freestyle skier, did a lot of extreme skiing. I got some great pictures of me throwing backflips. If you look through enough stuff, go over to my Instagram. You'll see a picture of me throwing a backflip on there. But I don't know if you've noticed, if you've been on the boat a long time, you remember me before. But you see this eye starting to do this thing? That's from the traumatic brain injury. It is what it is, right?
My eyes are still normal, I think. Look.
Yeah, you stumble all over the place. I'm sorry, but every time we go out, I'm always worried you're going to fall. Like you did it today, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I kicked that thing. I didn't fall. It was
no, you almost fell.
You
did
I saved it.
I know. I didn't say you fall down every day.
Did you see what I kicked? Who put? Listen.
If you watch where you're going, man, like, did you ever kick things when you were a kid? Nothing further. Nothing further. Neckbeard all the way. Occam's razor. I'm with you, man. I'm going to go. This is Neckbeard. Lock the whole family. Yeah, you know something? I would put all of them in a room, lock them in that room, and not let them get out and watch how fast they start to ask those questions. They've changed so many things, right? They have changed. He did save it.
I did. It was a great save.
It was a great save.
But it really hurt.
But if you had any balance, you wouldn't need to keep saving yourself.
It wasn't a balance thing. There was a metal bar. You saw that, right? I showed it to you.
Did it ever happen to you when you were younger?
Shut up.
Did it ever happen to you when you were younger?
If there were things like that on the sidewalk, I probably would have.
Nothing further. Me and my father got drunk like 4 years ago and got into it, and he stabbed me 5 times. He's still my best friend, though. Your dad stabbed you 5 times? Well, now that 15-minute piss you took from Budweiser is starting to make a lot more sense.
That's great.
I'm just busting your chops, man. Seriously, don't take that to heart. But seriously, it does make more sense. Did he really deny a lie detector test? That's what everyone is saying. That's not the right one. You lowlife. Damn, ain't no way. Throw your dad in the trash. See, that's no. I blame the Budweiser.
I never stabbed you.
No, but you punched me a few times.
And you didn't punch me.
I don't remember punching you. Did I punch you?
Yeah, you punched me.
I may have punched him. I love you guys so much. I've only been here a short time, and I feel home. You know what? We get that a lot. You know what that says about all of you? Huh? Dysfunctional,
right?
Dysfunctional families, every last one of you.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a functional family.
What do I think about the John Benet Ramsey case? I think Burke did it. That's the long and the short of it, right? I absolutely think that.
I do too.
Why would Neckbeard want to harm? It's going to be about money. It's going to be about money.
Any damn thing funny.
Right? Got to have a con in the land of milk and honey. Good Lord, man.
Holy crap.
Are you woofing me? He stabbed out both of my lungs. I had blood bags hanging from each of my sides when I woke up in the hospital. But you can't blame someone for what they do in alcohol because alcohol is the worst drug. Alcohol is the worst drug.
Didn't you just pee for like 5 minutes in Budweiser about an hour ago? I'm just saying, man. If you just joined us, that didn't happen. I'm not making it up.
Yeah, this is the famous Budweiser beer. He literally said, "Listen, I just got to go and take a quick piss, get rid of some of this Budweiser." He came back an hour and 45 minutes later and said, "Yeah, I'm done.
We're good now."
No, here's the thing. I'm not judging you. I'm really not. But when you said he stabbed me, I got like the fork thing. I thought maybe one of those kind of.
It was a real poke.
Nah, dude. He woke up with bags attached to his lungs, man.
You didn't just get out of the hospital and say, "Hey, let's have a beer, Dad." I mean, it must took some time, right?
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
This guy needs to smoke a lot less. This is Robin. Sorry.
You can't believe that I think Burke did it? Oh, I think Burke did it, and I think the parents covered for Burke. That's what I think happened. Tobacco comes a close second. I was vaping, I know. But if it wasn't for nicotine and caffeine, you guys wouldn't be seeing me. That's the only thing keeping me going at this point. And I'm not picking on you, Smoke. I mean, I am picking on you, but it's what I do. I come by it honestly. But yeah, no, that alcohol is a hell of a drug. But you can actually blame the person anyway. If not, everybody's co-defendant would be Jack Daniels. I didn't do it.
Or Jim Beam.
I didn't do it. Jimmy Beam did it, right? It was my old granddad, right? Wild Turkey, Dwayne Wilson. I wish I could stop the nicotine. So do I. All of my comments are in jest. I'm not a mean person. That's all right. You'll do till the mean person shows up. Robin W., I know you're not a mean person. That's what Johnny and I do. We handle the mean. Check it out. Just in case you think I'm kidding. Let's go over these real quick. Neckbeard. I'm not saying he's guilty, but if he isn't, he will do until the guilty guy gets there. And then this jackwagon, who's never going to get laid again if he lives to be 110. What woman's going to sleep with a guy?
Do you think he was slaying it before this happened? I mean, seriously, you think he was tapping it every weekend?
You make a pretty solid point. Leave some women for the rest of us. Actually, I am completely. George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers.
We saw
him in concert a couple of times, man.
Great concert.
George
much
Thorogood,
fun in concert.
He is a shitload of fun in concert. He really is. Drinking bourbon, scotch, Budweiser beer. All right, people. That's the 2 hour and 30-minute mark. If I go longer than this, you have any idea what my wife is going to do to me?
Should I prepare the hammock?
She's pretty pissed off about me not sleeping anyway. Love the discussion. Thanks, Tommy and Johnny. Well, come back tomorrow night because you guys have showed up in force. We're going to keep doing this until you stop. Banfield for the win. Neckbeard. #Neckbeard. He will find someone at the Helen Keller convention. 1 out of 2 pay on his head, the other on his neck. I like it.
Well
I
played,
like
Mr.
it.
White.
I like it. All right, people, we're going to call it a night. Between now and the next time I see you, get over to Relatable Reese. Look, there's literally 890 of you here. You need to all go over there and leave a comment that said, Tommy told me to show up, right?
And subscribe to Chase the Heat, please.
And not a fan of Bad Bunny.
I need the next one.
Apparently, not a lot of people watch Bad Bunny, I guess. A lot of people turned the channel at that point. What did you say?
I said subscribe to Chase the Heat because I need the next one. I'm sorry.
Let's get me one of those here real quick, people. Make sure that you hit subscribe. Want to do that for me?
Yeah, hit the subscribe, please. Hit notifications, because he goes a lot. He's got a problem.
Yeah, I do. I really do. And I'm getting yelled at. My wife's not.
But thank you for all being here. I appreciate it more than you know.
The Behavior Panel, one of the great shows out there, man. I love the. I can't speak anymore. It's gotten way too late. Reese is funny and has a huge heart. She really does. And she is not without a great sense of humor.
That's a fact.
And some skills. You
all
tell
right.
her I said so. All right, people. We'll see you on the next one. Between now and then, check out Relatable Reese and my brother with the friggin' silver play button.
Gold next. Just saying.
I'll see you on the next one. God bless. Have a good night. Bye-bye.